Jake, you just kicked the ball into the net.
I did.
Yeah, right into the other team's net.
Well, I got confused because you were yelling at me.
I was yelling, wrong net, wrong net, wrong net.
Guys, cool it. You didn't even let us have our fruit roll-ups and juice. You're the worst coach ever.
Yeah, well, you probably would have kicked the snacks into the other team's mouth.
Fan. Mom just got back from the doctor's office and her blood pressure is like super high. She cannot have any stress, so keep your voice down.
That kid is an embarrassment.
Do you hear what I'm saying? Stop yelling!
Cheyenne, didn't I just tell you I need peace and quiet?
Yeah, Shine, what's wrong with you?
Sorry, Mom. I know that you need to relax. How about you have a nice hot bath?
Okay, I'm gonna go up and take my bath. And while I'm in there, I'm gonna listen to the relaxation sounds that my doctor put on my little iPod here.
Oh, I listened to one of those once. Yeah, it was the sounds of a very calming rainstorm. I fell asleep and then I peed myself.
Life is good. Life is calm. And relax. 1, 2. Happy, happy, 3, 4. All is great.
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
I'm all tense from that soccer game. Hey, how about we go upstairs and you give me a back rub?
Van, you know that always leads to something.
Yeah, I know. Why? You want to skip the back rub?
What is an orange manatee doing in my shower?
Oh, yeah. I knew there was something I was supposed to tell you. Dad's in your shower.
Well, then call SeaWorld. He's going back.
Mr. H has been staying in the garage for the past few days.
The only way he's staying in the garage is if a car is running.
Hey, Reba. Sorry about that. Bet that brought back some memories, though, huh?
Almost brought back my lunch.
Aw, come on. The old fella's aged pretty well, don't you think?
Yeah, that's what happens when you soak something in alcohol.
Come on, Cheyenne, let's go.
You know I'm not giving you a back rub.
Don't worry. The urge has passed.
So is it true you're living in my garage?
Yeah, I've been sleeping on the pull-out couch. Barbara Jean and I are taking a little break. She thinks I'm on a business trip.
Why didn't you stay at a hotel?
Well, if I stay at a hotel, that makes it real. This way, we can have a little break without it being such an official separation.
Why don't you just admit that you're cheap?
I am not cheap. I just don't happen to believe that a room service waiter automatically deserves 12%. Look, Reba, things are bad with Barbara Jean and me, but I'm trying. Really, I am. Come on. Let me stay in the garage just a couple of more days, please.
Brock, I am under strict orders to keep my blood pressure at a minimum, and you're not helping one bit!
Jake, nice kick. Next time, try to hit the ball. The ball. The black and white. Never mind.
Reba, remember I'm out of town.
Hey, Barb Jean.
Brock's out of town and Henry's staying with Nana, so I got bored and I baked you a cake.
Happy Tuesday, Reba. Yeah. It's Wednesday.
Happy Reba.
So, Brock's out of town, huh?
Yeah. Reba, can I confide in you?
Is it something embarrassing and personal about Brock?
Yes.
Then yes.
It's just... He's just such a big baby.
Yeah.
You know, every time we have a little problem, he goes on a business trip. I mean, the guy's a dentist. There are plenty of rotten teeth in Houston.
You know, I'd say he's been hanging out at hotels, except he's so cheap. So, tell me more about his cheapness. I mean, I could go on forever. The guy once tried to buy half a box of Girl Scout cookies. Yeah, he's cheap and vain too, huh? Yeah, he is. Yeah. One time, I caught him looking at himself in the mirror, and he was saying, "Enough about you. Let's talk about me."
Well, hang in there, Barbara Jean. From my experience, you just never know when Brock might pop up.
You know what's weird, Reba? He's not even in town, and I can still smell him. It's like this weird mixture of cocoa butter and feet.
Wow, Van, that's amazing.
Thanks.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to think of a way to fix my team. And being a brilliant coach, I did. I have come up with a plan that is going to change their entire attitude and turn us from losers, into winners.
What's the plan?
I'm cutting Jake from the team.
What? No, Van, you cannot cut Jake from the team.
I have to. His rotten attitude is infecting the entire team. He is the Terrell Owens of preteen soccer.
He's also a member of your family.
Not by blood. Cheyenne, when we have our son, that kid will be athletic and have awesome eyebrows like his dad. He will be well and browed.
Van, what do you think Mom's gonna say when Jake tells her that you cut him from the team?
Cheyenne, I can't coach constantly worrying about the owner. Hey, buddy, I think we need to talk.
Yeah, we do.
Good.
Van?
Cheyenne, this is official team business, so thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Jake, look, I'm just gonna come right out with it because we're both adults. Well, you're not an adult, but let's pretend you are and just get on with it, okay?
Okay?
Okay.
You're fired.
What'd you say?
I said you're fired.
Jake, you can't fire me.
It's not just me, it's the whole team.
What are you stupid kids crazy? The parents won't stand for this.
It was the parents' idea.
Oh, so it's a coup, huh? Huh. Some psycho dad took my coaching job. Who is it?
It's not a dad.
Oh, man. Is it one of Jimmy's two moms?
It's not a parent.
Then who is it?
Hey, Van. Tough break.
Fine. You can take my team. You can take my job, but you can never, ever take my dignity.
What are you doing?
Oh, I was just getting a blanket out of the closet. Yeah, the garage only gets so warm, even with the dryer open and running.
You know how to make it warmer? Turn on the car. Or you could go home to your house.
You know what, Reba? This is way more complicated than you think.
Okay, then I'll make it simple for you. Go home to your wife.
I can't. She thinks I'm out of town.
Won't you just tell her the truth?
You know, Reba, I'm one of those people who actually believes that the truth imprisons you. Plus, no matter what I say to Barbara Jean, it causes a fight.
Then just be with her. Don't speak. Not a bad rule of thumb for you, by the way. You know, you do smell like cocoa butter and feet.
Reba, open up!
No, Brock, go home to your wife.
I did! I need your help!
Oh, my gosh, what is it?
She shot me!
doctor? Did you call 911?
No. She shot me with a paintball gun. Oh, and it hurts like hell. I'm gonna have a big boo-boo tomorrow.
Call the cops. There was an intruder at our house.
That was me.
You? What are you doing here? I thought you were out of town.
I switched my flight from Austin so I could come back and check on you. I didn't even care about the extra cost. And believe me, it was substantial.
Austin? You said you were in Dallas.
I got a connecting flight from Austin.
A connecting flight from Dallas. That's a 45-minute flight from here to there. Why would you connect?
Why connect? Why connect? Why not connect?
Okay, what is going on here?
What is going on here? What is going on? What is going on here?
Okay, Reba, do you think you can help me out?
Can I help you out?
Oh, God bless America! Somebody start talking!
Brock, I think it's time you use the T word.
Yes, tea. Everybody loves a nice hot cup of tea. Okay, who takes honey?
Brock, tell her the truth.
Fine. I wasn't in Austin. I've been staying in Reba's garage.
Well, isn't that cozy? Every time something goes bad, you go running to your ex-wife. And you! I mean, is that why you wouldn't let me stay in your garage? You had your little gigolo stash there?
Oh, yeah, Barbara Jean. Every night I dream about waking up in the arms of my manatee again.
Well, don't I feel like an idiot?
Barbara Jean.
No, Brock. And next time, I got 200 rounds. And I'm aiming low.
That went well.
Looks like you're stuck with me for another couple of days.
No more. No. You have to go talk to her from your heart. Tell her what you're feeling.
I'm a guy. I don't know what I'm feeling.
Then talk to her. Tell her that. And then you could start mending all the things that are wrong. Brock, if we'd have done that, maybe we would have had a chance.
I don't know, Reba. I think maybe I should stay here one more night.
Brock, honey, the gun I own doesn't shoot paint. Come on, make my day.
Kira as the coach? Kira? I mean, what's her philosophy of sports? Hey, kids, soccer's important, but life itself is meaningless.
That was the greatest game ever.
Oh my gosh, you guys won? Nope, we got murdered. 11-0.
I think it was 13, Coach.
13-0 in soccer? How many did you score for them?
2. That's how I got snacks from both teams.
Kira, you can't let them lose like that. Those psycho parents will tear you to pieces.
Thanks for the advice. Oh, tell Mom I won't be home for dinner because some of those psycho parents want to take me out for sushi.
You see that? She's turned them from losers into happy losers.
Man, they're kids. Okay, and maybe your coaching style is a little too intense.
Oh, that's ridiculous. You know what? When we have our son, that's when I need to coach.
Well, maybe your coaching style is a little too intense for our son, too.
Why do you keep saying I'm too intense?
I want to show you something, okay? I taped the game from last week.
Here we go. Get it going. No. Come on, baby. Kick it. What are you doing? What do you think this is? A blind convention? What are you doing, pal?
a little bit much.
It's weird. That's my father.
Nope. I had the camera. It was you.
I know it's me, but the way I was acting, that's my father. That's the way my dad coached me my whole life.
Oh, man, that's so sad.
That's not sad. That's why I'm so good at sports.
Yeah, and it also is probably why,
Probably why what?
Well, why you hate your dad.
I don't hate my dad. I just, I don't talk to him or call him or think about him. Oh my gosh, I hate my dad. And now I'm turning into him. Cheyenne, I don't want my well-and-browed son to hate me.
Leanne, calm down. He's not gonna hate you. He's going to love you. Okay, because no matter whether he's good or bad at anything, we are always gonna be good at loving him. Okay? Okay. And you're not gonna coach any of his games.
I can't believe I didn't realize that I was turning into my dad. When did you realize that you were turning into your mom?
Well, no, never, because I'm not turning into my mom.
No, I know. You already did.
Okay, you know what? I am not turning into my mom, you moron.
Do you realize what you just said?
Crap.
Oh, I did. I did a small one. Oh, hey, Reba Dabadoo.
Well, look at you two. No new bullet holes or fresh paint?
Well, it wasn't really comfortable being honest with each other, but it really did work.
We just needed to talk things out.
Yeah, and we did. We did. We stayed up all night and we put all of our problems on the table. We were completely truthful. And you were right, Reba. It did set us free.
Well, I hate to say it, but when I'm right, I'm right. And even when I'm kind of wrong, I'm still kind of right.
Well, this time you were right.
Good.
We're getting a divorce.
Thanks for making us talk.
That's not what I meant when I said the talk. I meant work it out.
Yeah, well, look, we're not thrilled about this either, but it seemed like it was the only thing we could do to stop the pain.
It didn't used to be like this. We used to have fun. We were just reminiscing about all that and, all the good times we had. And, I really think it's for the best. And I couldn't be happier. I can't wait for court.
Brock, you can't let this happen.
You know what? I'm gonna go check into a hotel. I really do think this is for the best.
You're not such a great liar anymore, Brock.
Yeah, I know. I miss those days.
Now I'm never going to be able to relax.
Here we go. Get it going. No. Come on, baby. What are you doing? What do you think this is, huh? A blind convention? What are you doing, pal? Everything you do is to whistle a little bit. Go around. Ah! Damn it!
I'm really relaxed.
Cheyenne, what is your problem? That was a great house. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a large backyard.
Van, it was a colonial. I want an English cottage. I was very specific. I want a Tudor house with an English garden, 3 gables, a pond with a water wheel, and a turret where I can stand and brush my beautiful long blonde hair.
An English cottage in Houston? Why don't we just look for an igloo?
Van, the house that we provide shelter and love for our children, the one that we raise them in, it will be perfect. And by perfect, I mean a Tudor house with an English garden, 3 gables, and a turret. Now maybe, just maybe, you're not looking hard enough.
What, Cheyenne? Who am I? Who am I? Look at my business card. I am Van Montgomery. I am great at real estate. I will find a house for you and your spouse. I would have written more, but I ran out of space. Now, if there's a house like that in Houston, I would have already found it.
Van, Cheyenne, I have found you the perfect house.
Is it an English cottage?
Oh, it's so English, it hates France.
There's no way, Mrs. H. I've looked at every house in the area in our price range.
Well, it's a little higher than your price range, but it's been on the market for a long time, and I think we can talk the owner down on the price. I've got you an appointment at 2 o'clock to look at it.
Now, Mrs. H., okay, this sales pitch might work on less sophisticated buyers. But I assure you, we are not that easily conned.
It has a turret.
2 o'clock, you say? Jolly good.
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids, who never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
Hey, Jake, we're going to go check out a house for Van and Cheyenne. Want to go with us?
I can't. I'm going go-karting with Jack and Kendall. And Kendall's gonna super glue Jack's butt to the go-kart seat.
Kara, how about you?
Who do you think is giving the super glue to Kendall?
Guess what we're doing? Fixing to get Brock beat up.
No, we are going on a divorce date.
Oh, wow, sounds romantic. Well, if you guys like dating, why are you getting a divorce?
Oh, no. It's a date about the divorce. We're gonna start talking through some of the details.
I get that, all right. Why the costumes?
Reba, I'm a celebrity, so my man has to appear interesting in some way. We got to dress up for my viewing public.
Wow, what's the chances you'll bump into all 3 of them?
Reba, I don't expect you to understand, but because I am an important figure, we need to be aware of our appearance in public at all times.
Hour? I thought you 2 weren't 2 anymore.
Yes, but that's off the record.
Yeah, Barbara Jean doesn't want her public to know that we're separated because...
People want their weather from someone in a stable relationship. We better get going, Brock.
Yeah.
Hey, Brock, wait a minute. I know why Lou Screw is doing this, but why are you doing this?
What's the harm?
I got a full-length mirror in my bathroom where you can see the harm.
Okay, look. Barbara Jean always complained that I wasn't supportive of her career, so I want her to know that I am.
Well, it's very noble of you. I don't mean to be mean, but isn't that kind of like closing the barn door after the cows run away?
Maybe. But maybe I want the cow to know that I miss it. Boy, that is a really terrible metaphor when you're talking about your wife.
Mom, this is beautiful.
As you can see, the house has beautiful hardwood floors.
Laminate,
Handcrafted.
veneer,
Solid oak.
maybe not.
The kitchen has brand new appliances. and granite countertops. Upstairs has been converted to a game room.
Game what?
A game room complete with a pool table, air hockey table, and a flat screen TV that the owner says she'll throw in at the same price. Oh.
I'm okay, but I can't say that for Mrs. Pac-Man. Excuse me, I have to speak with my wife for a moment, please. Cheyenne? Yeah? I love this house.
I know, me too, Van. Let's make an offer.
Okay, but wait. She represents the seller, okay? So we have to play it cool.
Okay. We'll take it. We'll pay anything she wants.
What are you doing? That's not the way you negotiate. Now watch and learn. Yeah, we might be interested, but we got a lot of other options, so we are in no rush to buy. This is, I don't know.
Well, would you like for me to talk to the owner and see if she'll come down on the price?
Whatever you want. I can take it or leave it. It's not really, you know, thing, no.
Oh, there's the owner now. I'm going to meet her and get this thing started.
Okay.
Take your time.
Oh, Van. I hope this works out.
Could you imagine our own house?
I know, and it's like it's destined to be ours. I mean, it looks like us. The landscaping looks like us. That picture on the wall even looks like us. It is us.
It's a picture of our senior class. Hey, that's a picture of Bridget.
Bridget O'Hara? What's she doing on my mantle?
Guys, this is Bridget. Bridget, this is Cheyenne.
Bridget!
You two know each other?
Well, of course. Cheyenne, Van, and I were all friends in high school.
Well, what a small world. How come I've never met her?
Well, because why would I bring her around?
Oh, Van, look at you. You are even bigger and stronger than you were in high school. Cheyenne, isn't it unfair? Guys just get better looking with age, and we girls, I mean, look how I've fallen apart, really.
I don't see anything falling, but I do see parts.
Oh, Van, stop it.
Oh, yeah, Van. Stop it.
So, you guys are old friends. That's so nice. And usually old friends say nice things to each other, especially when you're trying to buy a house from them. Right, Cheyenne?
Right. You know, Bridge, you do look better than you did in high school. You're not as pear-shaped.
Well, that must be because I am now a fitness instructor. Yeah, I specialize in derrieres. Oh. I'm a derrierist.
Oh, fitness instructor, huh? What happened? Couldn't get into law school?
Oh, you know me, Cheyenne. I was always the pretty one, and you were always the smart one.
I was not the smart one.
Okay. That's all very interesting, but we should really start talking about the house now.
Oh, Cheyenne, you know what I just thought of that's so funny? Remember when I asked Van to the Sadie Hawkins dance right before you did?
You know, Bridget, I think that's water under the bridge.
Yes, it is, Bridge. And you know why? Because I got the guy. Yeah, we've been married for 5 years, and I'm pregnant with our second child.
You're pregnant? Mm-hmm. Oh, that explains it.
Okay, all right, okay. Here. The important thing is we're here to buy a house. Take a seat. Thank you. And I think it's about time for us to discuss the price. So, Bridget, the house has been on the market for quite a long time now, so we were thinking you might want to come down on the price just a little bit.
Okay, hang on a second. Cheyenne, do you really want this house?
Yes, Bridget, I really do.
Well, that's good, because you're not going to have it.
What?
Why are you doing this?
Because you made my life miserable in high school. The things you wrote about me in the bathrooms, Bridget's missing a digit. What does that even mean?
I don't know, but it was pretty funny in high school.
You know what's funny now? You're not going to get this house.
I just got off the phone with Bridget, and she's at least willing to come over here and talk. Now, if you want her to reconsider, I suggest that you be nice to her.
Oh, please.
Cheyenne, you've got to let this high school stuff go. We're talking about your home here, not who should have been homecoming queen.
Me! I was wrong! must be Bridget. Our doorbell's never sounded so slutty.
Hey, Mrs. H, no offense, but you kind of botched that back there, so let me handle Bridget, okay?
You talk like a babbling idiot when she's around.
Hey, that was an act. I am completely in control.
No, right?
Hello. You better handle this.
Bridget, won't you come in?
Thank you.
Look, I think the first thing we need to do is apologize for our behavior over at the house.
Right. You first, Mrs. H.
I meant you.
Right. So, Bridget, being a professional real estate agent, I know that emotions can run high when you're buying or selling a house. So, I just want to apologize. I want to apologize.
Well, I suppose we all got a little emotional. Going through this divorce has forced me to take a hard look at myself. And for the most part, I really do like what I see. And I will be happy to reconsider once Cheyenne apologizes.
What? Yeah. She's sorry. She's terribly sorry.
You know what? Why don't you two hug and make up?
I haven't heard the apology.
Cheyenne, the only other turret in town is at the miniature golf course.
Bridget, I said some pretty mean things to you in high school and in the yearbooks and the occasional bathroom. And for that, I'm truly, truly sorry. I hope you can forgive me.
And I am truly, truly sorry that I asked Van to the dance. Although it is kind of a funny story.
What?
Oh, come on, Van. We could all use a little laugh.
Why, what happened?
Well, I asked Van because he asked me to. He didn't want to go with you. He couldn't stand you. Isn't that funny? So,
Yeah.
so how do we start this?
I don't know. I guess the first thing is, are you sure that you're comfortable doing this without any lawyers?
I guess. I mean, Reba had a lawyer, and you still screwed her in the divorce.
I did not. You know, frankly, the lawyers were a big part of the problem. I mean, you know, they make their money when they get both parties into some big fight.
Well, I don't want that.
No, me neither. So I guess we just have to be honest with each other.
I agree.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go first. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I am being completely honest when I say that I feel ridiculous wearing this tie. So if it's okay with you, I'm gonna take it off.
Oh, no. Leave the tie on. You look great.
Well, thank you, honey, but seriously, Barbara Jean, don't you think I'm a bit overdressed for a restaurant that serves burn your butt chili? I mean,
Well, I think you're not overdressed to be seen in public as Stormy Clearweather's husband.
okay, look, being completely honest here, just two tiny little things. One, you're not Stormy Clearweather, and two, we are here because you don't want me to be your husband anymore.
Okay, well, here are two tiny little honest things from me. One, I am Stormy Clearweather. And two, for once, can we just do what I want and not what you want and just leave the tie on?
Sorry, Stormy. The tie is coming off.
Okay, I'm warning you. If you take that tie off, you are gonna be in big trouble.
Really?
Yeah, big trouble.
Oh.
Right. Do not test
Here
me.
it goes.
Do not undo
What are you gonna do?
that tie. Do
What are you
not
gonna do?
undo it.
What
Don't
are you gonna do?
undo it.
What are
Don't
you gonna
undo it. Do not undo that tie.
I'm so scared. Oh, Barbara Jean, don't you dare!
Oh, God, I'm so turned on.
What do you mean you couldn't stand me?
I didn't say that. She did.
Well, is it true?
Yes, you were so smart. I was intimidated.
I was not smart!
I believe we're losing sight of what today's meeting is all
I mean,
about.
what did you do, Van? Did you just, go up to her and say, I hate Cheyenne, ask me to the dance?
Of course not.
No, he wrote me a poem.
A poem? A poem!
It was a note. Luckily, it rhymed.
Well, I think I'd like to hear that poem.
But nobody remembers that.
Please take me to the dance. I promise to wear long pants. I'll do anything I can not to go with Cheyenne.
You jerk!
Okay, that's it. You know what, Bridget? We don't want your house.
What?
That's right. No house is worth standing here listening to some derrieres torture my daughter.
You are making a big mistake.
You better leave quick or I'm going to get a stick. Well, fine.
Have you gone mad?
I mean, if you were gonna kick her out, you could have at least done it before I apologized.
Yes.
Okay, maybe things just got a little out of control, okay?
Oh, that sounds so close to an apology, but not quite there yet. Bye-bye.
Okay, wait.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to get back at you, Cheyenne. Look, I really need to sell this house. Do you still want to buy it?
Maybe. For 20 off the list price.
What?
In this market, that's all it's worth. Take it or leave it.
Okay, deal.
You know what? Cheyenne, you should go hug Bridget. We should all go hug.
I'll come over later this afternoon. We can hammer out the deal.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mrs. H, underneath that pile of red hair and emotional rage, is a genius. How did you know she was gonna come back?
Oh, then you just have to learn how to read people. Like you right now. I know you're hungry.
I am hungry. You're a genius. I'm so hungry.
Very impressive, Mom.
Thanks.
You had no idea she was gonna cave, did you?
No, I just lost my temper and it all fell into place.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. Oh,
Oh, honey, I just wish we could go back and get you that homecoming queen.
I was
Wow. That was different.
I know. That was amazing.
That was even better than the parking lot.
Yeah. Well, it's getting kind of late. Or should I say early? And we better get some shut-eye.
You're right.
Good night, hon.
Goodbye.
What?
No, you didn't think you were going to stay the night, did you? Brock, we're getting divorced. What kind of girl do you think I am?
So what, you're saying I just had a one-night stand with my wife?
Well, not necessarily. I was thinking of having you over tomorrow night.
So I don't have to stay and cuddle. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Hey, at least I can take off the stupid tie now.
Do not undo the tie.
Oh, I'm undoing the tie.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, no, I do.
Do not.
Look, it's coming off. It's coming off. It's coming off. I'm not putting back on the tie.
Oh,
God. Sorry we're late, Reba, but I went to pick up Ms. Booker, and as usual, she wasn't ready.
Ms. Booker?
Well, I just want to hear how my maiden name sounds. You know, because with the divorce pending, I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to keep my married name.
Do me a favor, okay? Don't. I'm just saying I already have one ex-wife named Mrs. Hart. I'm not giving out these names as a parting gift.
Oh, would you two knock it off? You were hard enough to take when you were happily married.
So, where are Van and Cheyenne?
Oh, I cannot wait to see the look on their faces when we tell them that we are getting them furniture for their new house.
We are not getting them furniture for their new house. I am. Me. By myself. Because, if you remember, you guys didn't want to spend the money and be part of the gift.
Yeah, but we can still be a part of the look on their faces. You guys, we got you furniture for your new house!
Furniture! Oh, tears of joy, stress relief.
Oh, wait a minute. It was from me. I put it on.
Mom, it doesn't matter who did what. It was just so happy.
I did it all.
Okay, Mrs. H.
Yeah.
Of course you did. It's okay. You're a winner, too.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you know what would mean the world to me?
What's that?
If you came with us to help pick out the furniture.
Oh, I'd love to, Cheyenne. I have excellent taste. Besides, my third cousin is friends with Crazy Larry, the insane couch king.
Uh-huh. Okay, look, call me. Van, get a tape measure. We are going to go measure for furniture.
We don't need a tape measure. My feet are exactly a foot long. How weird is that?
Seriously, if you find a couch at a lower price, Larry has to give you a ride on his elephant.
So wait a minute. If you like the couch, you don't get to ride the elephant? What a rip!
So much for horning in on my gift, huh?
I'm horning in. I think somebody owes somebody else $1.75 for the card.
See you guys later.
This is a wonderful time for our family, Brock. Our oldest daughter is buying her first house, and this little hot shot is getting ready to go to college.
Oh, well, I guess this would be the time then to tell you that I decided I'm not going to college.
Come again?
Not going to college?
I just feel like it would be a waste of time. I'd rather focus on my music. I'll see you guys later at band practice.
Don't do anything dumb, Reba. Don't do anything dumb.
Crazy Larry didn't go to college, and he is filthy rich.
Oh, I'm just...
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
Ooh, Van, look at this store. They have some really nice things.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really impressed. Check that. Hello, vibrating chair.
Van, we are not buying a vibrating chair.
Why not, Cheyenne? Oh, it's cozy. There you go. That's a spot chair.
Are you serious? Come on, honey, look at this couch. It's really beautiful and it goes with our house.
All right, you get the couch that doesn't plug in. I'll just get this chair.
Van, it doesn't work that way, okay? They have to be in the same room. They have to actually match.
All right, fine. We'll compromise. We'll get a vibrating couch.
There is no such thing as a vibrating couch.
Really? Are you sure? New idea. Vibrating couches.
Come on, Van, I think this furniture is for us. Try it out.
What? Oh. All right. No, this is not gonna work out.
Why not?
Because this is the most uncomfortable couch I've ever sat in. Plus, it's not my taste.
Come on, Van. You cannot be suggesting that you actually care about the furniture.
All right, you know what, Cheyenne? I don't want to fight. This is a big decision, so let's just flip for it.
Okay, no!
All right, rock, paper, scissors.
No, we're not gonna flip a coin to pick our furniture or do rock, paper, scissors.
Rochambeau?
Van,
Okay, I'm thinking of a number.
you know what? Forget it. Forget about this whole thing. Forget about the furniture. We'll just live in an empty house and we'll eat off the floor.
Cheyenne, come back! Excuse me, sir. Do you have any vibrating couches?
Sorry, sir. I'm afraid not.
Oh, excellent. This conversation never happened.
I just cannot believe Kira.
Okay, Reba, before you go all Rambo on Kira about this band stuff, just remember that a lot of musicians didn't go to college. And there's Elton John, Paul McCartney, Cher, Bruce Springsteen. I mean, the list just goes on and on.
And do you know what those people have in common? They're not my kid, that's what. And I want my child to have an education.
Oh, education, that's overrated. All you need is an accent and you sound smart. Hello, Reba. I'm quite busy right now. Can you have my secretary call you? It's wonderful, you know. Oh, hello.
Do us all a bit of a favor, won't you, Mrs. Booker, and zip it? There's a good girl. Jolly good.
Get off.
It is vital that we show a united front. We have got to show her that we are all of one mind.
Got it. Kira, it's a trap. Follow your dreams, run, be free.
Oh, no. Is this one of those you have to go to college interventions?
No, it's a free and open exchange of ideas. Plus, you won't be able to leave the room until you agree with us. And I do need to let you know that we are all of one mind.
Well, to be fair, I think that you should be able to do whatever
We are all of one mind.
Kira, we just want to make sure that you know what you're getting into.
Right. The concerts, the parties, the limos, the private jets. I mean, what kind of life is that?
Barbara Jean, remind me to show you that thing about my fist inside of your head.
Okay, look, Reba, I'm just trying to show her that it's not all bad.
Yes, but only the people that make it to the top get all that stuff.
I think what your mom is trying to say is that there are no guarantees,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
This can be a really hard life. Now, baby, I know what you're going through. My parents had the same talk with me when I was your age and wanted to join the touring company of a chorus line.
Oh, so this isn't an intervention as much as a coming out party.
Hey, honey, as a straight man, I would have cleaned up on that tour, okay?
Okay, all right, I think we're missing the point here. Kira, this is the time in your life when the decisions you make will impact your future. I'm just worried if the band doesn't make it, you won't have the options you need.
So you're saying I should think of college as a safety net?
Yes! What a perfect way of saying it. Yes, a safety net. Yeah.
The problem with a safety net is that it's always there if you fall.
Well, yes, dear. That's why we call it a safety net. And you think she's college material.
I don't want a safety net. I want the pressure of having to make it or crashing and burning.
Oh, honey, no, that's just crazy.
It's how a lot of artists feel.
Well, here's how a lot of artists' parents feel. You're going to college, and that's that.
You can't make me. I'm 18.
Oh, but you still live here, and as long as you live here, you will do exactly what we think is best.
Sounds like we have a problem.
Oh, no, there's no problem. You just do the right thing, and everything will work out.
Hey, Kira, ready to go to the studio?
Yeah. Hey, Stitch, do you mind if I crash at your place for a little while?
Yeah, it's cool with me. The dog liked you.
Great. Problem solved. I'll be out by Saturday.
I wonder if the dog is a person or the dog.
Well, great job, Reba. Now, not only is our daughter not going to college, but she's moving in with some punk with the long hair and the breakdancing and the devil music.
She's not going anywhere. First of all, she doesn't know it yet, but she is so grounded.
You know what? Call her on her cell and tell her that if she doesn't get her butt home right now, that you are kicking her out.
How can I do that? She already left.
Then tell her you are kicking her in.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I am obviously panicking.
When I was her age, I joined this church group in Utah.
Oh, Lord.
Well, they were super friendly, and they had these really big families. And instead of my parents letting me follow my dreams, one night at a dance, they showed up in a van and just carried me home in a sack. Although there's a good chance I'm still married to Father Al.
Okay, that's it. That's it. That's what happens when kids get to make their own decisions. I'm gonna call the cops.
And tell them what? That your 18-year-old has left home, that's not a crime.
Well, it should be a crime. Why isn't it a crime?
Because we don't live in utopia, Reba. We live in suburbia, where life is cheap.
Can't call the cops. Can't make moving out a crime. Somebody come up with something!
Well, this is kind of weird, but there may not be anything we can do.
So our daughter makes a terrible decision with lifelong implications, and we just have to sit here and take it?
It kind of looks that way, yeah.
Wow. This parenting stuff is certainly not for sissies.
That's changing in some states.
Just like that, we lost all of our power over her.
Well, I'm not gonna sit by and lose the power to keep my daughter from doing something stupid.
But Reba, there's nothing you can do.
Well, let me tell you this. There may be nothing I can do, but I'm going to go down there and yell at her until one of us is crying.
Oh! Hey, Cheyenne. What happened to you in the car? Took me 6 hours to get home on the bus. I've been to parts of this city that you don't want to see. But being on the bus gave me time to think. And hold on, hang on a second. New idea. Deodorant you can spray on other people.
You can't spray things on other people, Van. They will arrest you.
Research laws regarding spraying things on other people. Look, I'm sorry what happened in the furniture store, okay?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does matter, Cheyenne. It does matter, because I was wrong. All right, I was wrong. I don't have any taste. I said that because I thought I should, but I was wrong, and you're right. I stink. And I was never mistaken for a gay. And when it comes to the house, you can make all the decisions, okay? Does that make you feel better?
No.
Why not?
I don't want to leave my mommy!
What?
Van, we cannot live without her. I mean, we were at the furniture store and she wasn't there and we couldn't pick out a freaking couch. How are we gonna live without her?
So this is what this is all about? You're afraid of leaving your mom?
Yes, I mean, she has always been there when we needed her help.
Your mom isn't so hot. You know, a lot of the time, I bet she was just winging it.
Okay, Van, you're not helping me here.
Cheyenne, come here. Listen, do you know why we're gonna be okay? Do you know why? Because your mother has taught us everything she knows. Even when she's not there, it's like she's there. She's like a voice in my head, constantly nagging at me. Okay, enough already.
You hear that too? I thought I was the only one.
That's why we're gonna be okay. Because we got red in our head. Okay? Everything's gonna work out. Trust me.
Really?
I promise.
Thank you.
New idea. Talking Reba doll.
Kara, what a coincidence. I was just dropping by hoping I could score some wacky tobacco. Ha ha. What's that? Come on in. Thanks for the offer. Just wanted to come by and see where you'd run away to.
I'm 18. I'm not running away. I'm moving out. And maybe me moving out is the best thing for both of us.
Oh, really? Well, I checked with myself, and it isn't.
Right.
Sorry I'm late. You are a crazy driver, Miss Leadfoot.
Barbara Jean, what are you doing here?
I didn't want you to come over here and bully the dreams out of Kira, so I followed you.
This is between Kira and me.
Well, I will be as quiet as a mouse. You won't even know I'm here. Hey, drums.
Look, Kira, I know this has been tough, and you and I haven't seen exactly eye to eye. But you have to know there's one thing that I want for you more than anything else in the world, and that's... I want you to be happy. Every parent wants their kid to be happy.
Well, playing music is what's gonna make me happy, but you don't want me to do that.
Okay, Kira, I'm gonna give you the deep, dark secret of parenting. We always say that we want our kids to be happy, but do you know what we really want?
Obedient robot children.
We want our kids to be safe. And I know that makes me a square or a drag or whatever word you kids are coming up with nowadays.
Lame. They say lame. I get it all the time.
You don't need to worry about me.
Well, tough crap, because I always will, always. That's what I do. I'm a mom.
Well, then how am I ever supposed to be able to make any mistakes?
You're not. You're never supposed to have any problems. You're supposed to have a perfect life, and that's why I want you to always listen to me. And yes, I know how ridiculous this is.
Mom, listen to me. I'm not scared. I feel okay in this world. I feel safe. And that's because of how you raised me.
I must have done something terribly, terribly wrong.
Please, Mom, just want me to be happy. You already made me safe.
I am happy for you, Kira, and I want you to be happy. Come on, let's go home. I'm really glad you came home with me. Look, honey, I know it's a little boring around here, but I think it's very important for you to have a stable family environment.
And 5, 6, 7, and 8, and step, kick, step, ball, chain, turn, fussy. Ha! Come on, Jake, concentrate. There's 600 other 8th graders who want your place on the line, boy.
Maybe I'll go back to stitches.
Right behind you.
And 5, 6, 7, and 8, and step, kick, step, ball, chain, turn, fussy.
Machine. Hey guys, I know you're over there at your new house and your brand new kitchen, but I know how much Van loves my pancakes. Anyway, so if you guys are hungry, come over and eat with me because I made a whole batch and there's not anybody here to eat them. Anyway, Elizabeth, if you hear this, honey, I miss you so much. Grandma loves you. Yes, she does. Come see me, pretty please. Okay, bye.
Mom, they were here for dinner last night.
I know. Such a nice dinner.
Hey, empty nester.
Jeez. She still has 2 other kids that live here.
Yeah, whatever you need to tell yourself, kid.
So, Barbara Jean, to what do I owe this intrusion?
Reba, I need some help.
Truer words were never spoken. Wait a minute. Is this about the divorce? Barbara Jean, I do not want to be involved with your divorce. I just want to come to the after party. That's it.
Well, I was involved in your divorce. You kind of owe me. And listen, all I need is a little information, okay? I need you to give me the name of Brock's best friend.
Best friend? Why?
Well, I need somebody he confides in. You know, I need to know what he's truly feeling deep inside that unnaturally tanned skull of his.
Sorry, can't help you on that. Brock doesn't have a best friend.
Yes, he does.
Who? Oh, no.
Face
Barbara
it,
Jean.
Reba, face it.
Forget it, Barbara Jean. He's my ex. He's not my best friend.
Well, obviously, he's not your best friend. I am. But you are his best friend, which puts you smack dab in the middle of us, which makes you the perfect person to talk to him.
Pass. I already talked to him about one divorce. I have the framed certificate to prove it. You talk to him.
I can't. Things are in a really weird place with us right now. When we went on that date to discuss the details of the divorce, things got a little bit heated. And then they just got hot.
Yeah,
And we know we shouldn't have done it. And we certainly shouldn't have done it 3 times since.
I can't wait for old age when I go deaf.
Anywho, I think all of the has really confused Brock.
Barbara Jean, are you sure it's Brock that's confused and not you?
Me? No, I'm fine. Thank you very much. I am strong, and I have no problems expressing my emotions. You're forgetting. I have a blog. It's bigblondeblog.com. You should check it out. So, you'll talk to him?
No.
Maybe?
No.
Think about it?
I will hurt you.
All I'm saying is that if you had come to me when you and Brock were breaking up and you asked me to talk to him, I would have done it.
You were sleeping with him.
Well, that's the perfect time. I had his ear.
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
Van, what are you doing?
I am standing proudly in my living room.
I thought we talked about that earlier when you were standing proudly on the front lawn in your boxers.
There was a bathing suit, Cheyenne. The people next door have a pool, and I want them to know I have a bathing suit. Isn't this a wonderful country, Cheyenne? Where a man can work hard and live his life right, and he can go from sharing a room in his mother-in-law's house to owning a little piece of land, technically owned by the bank, but who cares? Come stand with me, woman.
Van, I am so proud of us. And I love our house.
Man, Cheyenne!
Wow, your mother lives miles away, but her voice carries.
Knock, knock, it's me.
Hey, look, Cheyenne, it's your mom.
Third day in a row with a drop-by. Awesome!
Well, I have a lot more time on my hands nowadays. Without you guys there at the house, there's just less to do. Apparently, you two were the messy ones.
Yeah.
Looks like things haven't changed. I'll go get my broom.
Yeah.
Van, I know that she stops by a lot, but she's just here to help us.
I know.
Do you want me to tell her to not come by so often?
It's okay.
No, because I will, Van. I will.
No, it's okay. I'm fine with it.
Well,
Look.
I'm not. She's driving me crazy.
Thank God. Okay, how do we get rid of her?
What?
I know. We'll talk to her in a mocking tone. People hate that.
Okay, Van. That is not gonna work.
Okay, man. Not gonna work.
Knock it off, Van.
Knock it out.
Sorry that took so long. Let's just say that your parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme are in order.
Hey, so Mom, I wanted to talk to you about something. What's the matter?
It's just when you said that, it reminded me how many talks that we've had over at my house, and now here we are having talks in your new house. My little girl's not a baby anymore. She's all grown up. I did good. Hey. Sorry I'm late. I was over at Van and Cheyenne's. I was just gonna pop in for a second, but they would not let me leave. They are so clingy.
Yeah, I read that on Barbara Jean's blog.
Where are you going?
I have to go pick up Dad. He's at Sam's sports bar. I'm his designated driver.
You mean to tell me that he's making you drive all the way back and forth to pick him up? Why didn't you just take a cab?
Did you know that a cab costs 75 cents a mile? Dad does. Besides, I think he just uses it as an excuse to trap me in the car and talk about Barbara Jean.
Honey, that is not a father-daughter conversation. That's something that he should talk about with his best friend.
You're right. Have a nice chat.
I am not his... Crap.
So it's finally starting to sink in. I'm getting divorced again. You know, you get divorced the first time, you think, hey, these things happen. Then when it happens again, you have to ask yourself, what is wrong with these women?
Oh, I wouldn't sit there, lady. Two-time loser.
I know, I was number one. Hello, Brock.
Hey, Reba, what are you doing down here?
Well, I'm your designated driver's designated driver. And two, I don't feel good about Kira driving you home with you singing All My Exes Live in Texas at the top of your lungs.
You know what, Reba? I really don't need a lecture from you right now. I got a lot going on.
Can I get you something to drink, lady?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, man, it's all so weird. I mean, Barbara Jean and I have been all over the map, you know. First we're crying, and then we're fighting, and then we can't keep our hands off of each other.
Whiskey.
It's all so confusing.
Well, of course it is. One minute you're okay with it and she's not, and the next minute she's okay with it and you're not. You guys got to get on the same page with this divorce or it's never going to work.
I'm sorry, what can I do, Reba? I can't change what happened. In fact, I'm not sure that I'd want to. I mean, Barbara Jean and I were like wild animals. Repeatedly.
Hit me again.
It was like a National Geographic special.
Leave the bottle.
Hey, you know what? Barbara Jean's on right now.
So, how does the rest of the weekend weather look like?
We're looking at clear blue skies, possibly through the weekend.
That's what I wanted to hear. Taking the wife up to the cabin, keep those romantic fires burning.
Oh, that's lovely. It's always nice to hear of a couple that's making it work.
Well, we are.
Of course, we know, Tim.
And,
But
next...
you know, you never know when there could be a storm coming. You gotta be careful.
Well, that's okay, too. We can always cuddle by the fire or lay down and listen to the rain outside.
Yeah, but, you know, sometimes the storm's on the inside, you know, and it's just kind of, you know, and they're screaming at you, look out, you know? Your life's falling apart.
Right. Well, I'll be sure to bring a sweater.
Maybe you should just ask your wife if she wants to go to your cabin, you know? I mean, maybe there's something else she'd rather do, but you don't even ask her because you don't think that her life is as important as yours.
Did my wife talk to you?
Shut up, Tim! I'm not talking about your stupid wife. I'm talking about my stupid husband. He wants a divorce, and I don't know if I do. It's so hot in here. She looks like I need a drink.
Watching my wife unravel in front of all those people has made me realize something. I still have a chance.
Brock, do you mean to tell me that you're happy Barbara Jean just had a meltdown on TV?
No, I'm not happy she's suffering, Reba. I'm happy she's suffering because of me.
You really are a piece of porpoise poop.
No, don't you see? She knows that I watch her weather reports. She was sending me a message.
Why didn't she just call you?
Well, she had a show to do. She's a professional. I still have hope, Reba. There is time to save this marriage. Here you go.
Hey, Brock. I hope it works out. I really do.
Thanks, Reba. Hey, do you think I have time to stop and grab a quick tan? No, what am I saying? There's no time!
Can I get you anything else?
No, thanks. I'm fine. Hey, Kira, can you come get your mama?
Dan, it's freezing in here. Is the thermostat even on?
No, wait, no, don't touch that. Don't touch that. The inspector said he needs to fix the heater before we use it.
Well, Dan, how am I supposed to keep warm?
Well, we can make our own heat like the pioneers and astronauts did.
I like the way you think.
Yeah.
Knock, knock! Oh. You will not believe what just happened. I was at this bar with your dad, and we were watching Barbara Jean give her weather report, and she had a meltdown on the air. Don't worry, she's okay, but I just know that she's gonna want to come over to the house and tell me all about it. You know how she gets, she just talks and talks and talks, on and on and on.
Gee, what's that like?
Oh, it's horrible, I can tell you that. Anyway, I just wanted to know if I could come over here and hide out. Oh, look who I'm talking to. Of course I can come over here and hide out. Absolutely.
Well, actually, Mom, you know, Van and I, we were just in the middle of unpacking.
Oh, that's perfect. I can help. And I've got the perfect unpacking story. It was when your father and I bought our first house.
Look, Mrs. H, you have been so generous to me, and I owe you so much, which is why I'm gonna have Cheyenne say this hurtful thing to you. Cheyenne?
What are you talking about?
Well, look, Mom, it's just that you've kind of, you know, been over at the house a lot. A lot. Like more than me.
Van, do you agree with that?
Well, I think there is a nicer way of saying it, but yes, I do. Look, Mrs. H, I just think that, you know, you didn't realize how annoying it was getting. I mean, just like Barbara Jean doesn't realize how annoying it is when she does it to you. You know, it's funny if you think about it. You're our Barbara Jean.
What did you just call me?
What?
Mom, it's not your fault. I mean, maybe you've just hung out with her so much that she just, like, rubbed off on you.
Well, you could not be more wrong. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to do something that Barbara Jean would never do. I'm going to leave and never come back. And you're going to miss me when I'm gone. After all I've done for those two dopey kids, they have the nerve, the downright nerve to say I am their Barbara Jean. Well, was I their Barbara Jean when I let them live here 6 years rent-free? Was I? Was I, Jake?
No, you weren't.
And the worst part is when they said that my stories go on and on so long. I mean, do I go on and on about stuff, Jake? I mean, do I? I don't think so.
Hey, you know what I just remembered? I've got to go decide what I want to be when I grow up.
Just remember this, Jake. One of these days, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
Who are you yelling at?
It doesn't matter who I'm yelling at. I just feel like yelling. And since you're in the room, guess what?
Yeah, I don't have time for that right now. Listen, about this Barbara Jean thing.
Oh, so you've heard about it too, huh? Well, get this through your thick skull. I am not their Barbara Jean.
What are you talking about?
Apparently something totally different than what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, anyway, I went down to the station, but Barbara Jean had already left in tears. And apparently the phones were ringing off the hook. I think she may lose her job over this.
Are you smiling?
No.
Yes, you are!
No.
What's the matter with you?
I can't help thinking that she may need me again. I mean, this might be the very thing that brings us back together. Do you think that's possible?
How would I know? I'm nothing like her.
Yeah, I know.
You do?
Yeah, of course. You're nothing like Barbara Jean. In fact, you are exactly the opposite of Barbara Jean.
Oh, my gosh, I can't believe I was yelling at you. When you're my only true freedom.
Reba! Oh, hey, Brock.
Barbara Jean, I don't know what to say. I just want you to know that I am here for you. Forget about those people. That's their loss.
Whose loss? What are you talking about?
Barbara Jean, we saw the broadcast.
Yeah, and then I went down to the station. I guess there was quite a reaction from the viewers.
I know. Did you hear that half of them think I should be thrown off the air?
I'm sorry.
And the other half loved me?
Come again?
Yeah, I'm controversial, and controversial is big right now. My clip has already been posted on YouTube under Bimbo Bloopers.
So does that mean you're not going to be fired from the station?
Are you kidding? I'm hot. I got a call from a real talent agent. I'm his first two-legged client.
Well, that's great then, right?
Oh, it is better than great. Oh, thank you, Brock.
Oh, you're welcome, honey.
You know, if you hadn't made my life so painful and confusing and just tumultuous, this never would have happened. This divorce is the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Oh, well, glad I could help.
Babs here. Yeah, how many hits have I gotten? Well, I don't care if they're all from inmates.
I'm sorry, Brock.
No, that's okay. I guess I finally ended up supporting her career.
But before the weather, how was that weekend with your wife up at the cabin?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, come on now. We have a little extra time you can share.
Nope.
How was the weather?
Cold. Very, very cold.
Great. And now the weather. First of all, I would just like to say hello to all my new viewers. And for those of you who missed Friday's report but heard about it, I just want to say that I'm real sorry that you missed it, and I am doing much better. You know, I mean, as good as a person can be doing, when her life is crumbling. Tighter shot, please, Dennis, over here. And I would just like to say that to anyone out there who is dealing with personal pain, that, even though the storm clouds, they may gather, there's always a silver lining. Soaked in tears.
The locusts of change had passed, and what remained was a garden of genuine connection, tended with patience, humor, and an abundance of love. It was a life lived fully one day at a time, and for that they were all profoundly grateful. The atmosphere in the house was thick with a specific kind of tension that only arrived when someone decided to drastically alter their lifestyle. Reba stood in the center of the kitchen, watching the chaotic energy swirl around her. That woman is out of control. She is like a locust. She has eaten everything in the house. The accusation hung in the air, punctuated by the hollow sound of a spice rack being rattled. She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house. Look, even the salt and pepper shakers are empty. Why do you not just tell her she has eaten too much? You tell her. No, you tell her. Rock, paper, scissors. Ben, you know you are going to lose. Not this time. 1, 2, 3. Dang it. How do you always beat me? Because you always pick scissors. Of course I do, it is my system. So you will tell her? Yeah, fine. No, I do not want to. You tell her. Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please. No, Ben. Why should I tell her? Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks. By the way, you have been looking hot lately. Oh, you. The banter was familiar. A rhythmic dance of avoidance that defined their daily lives. Reba sighed, turning away from the empty pantry. Look, sweetie, why do I not tell her? Thank you. Hey, guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to? Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning. You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. I mean, it is really just the three of us. Oh, I know, but I had to take it. It was free. Somebody will eat it. Oh, dibs. You know what, Mom? I am thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here. What are you talking about? I am very healthy. The mood shifted instantly from playful to defensive. All right, that is it, Mrs. H, that a person who has recently undergone a dramatic physical transformation will become the center of gravity in any household. That woman, the one we are all observing with a mixture of awe and annoyance, is simply out of control. To the residents of the house, she has become a force of nature, a locust in human form. She has consumed everything in the home, leaving the pantry bare and the morale of the inhabitants at an all-time low. She has eaten everything in the house of Mr. H. If you take a moment to look, even the salt and pepper shakers are empty, standing as lonely sentinels on the kitchen table, hollow and abandoned. The tension in the kitchen is palpable, thick enough to be sliced with the very knives that are now lacking their target. Why do you not just tell her that she has eaten too much? You tell her. No, you tell her. Let us decide with a game of rock, paper, scissors. Ben, you know that you are going to lose. It is a foregone conclusion. Not this time. 1, 2, 3. Oh, dang it. How do you always beat me? Because you always pick scissors. Of course I do, it is my system. So, you will tell her? Yeah, fine. No, I do not want to. You tell her. Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please. No, Ben. Why should I tell her? Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks. By the way, you have been looking hot lately. Oh, you. Look, sweetie, why do I not tell her? Thank you. Hey, guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to? Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning. You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. I mean, it is really just the three of us. Oh, I know, but I had to take it. It was free. Somebody will eat it. Oh, dibs. You know what, Mom? I am thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here. What are you talking about? I am very healthy. All right, that is it, Mrs. H. Drop it. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Mrs. H. I cannot stand to see you do this to yourself. It is like you are trying to eat yourself to death. Why? What happened to you? What is different? Yoo-hoo. I am here. And I am thin. Yeah, thin is a stick and dumb is one. Yikes. What is eating Cooper grape? Look at that. They look like the number 10. Oh, thank God it was just a nightmare. Yoo-hoo. I am here. And I am thin. And the nightmare continues. My roots are planted in the past. Though my life is changing fast, who I am is who I want to be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. With gentle hands and the heart of a fighter, I am a survivor. Mom, make us some pancakes. No, I am making everyone a power smoothie. And this afternoon I am taking a power walk. Power walk? Oh, forget your power cane. Van, that is not nice. Mom does aerobics. She could shatter her hip. And yet, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless. Hey, everybody. I am here and I am. Oh, shut up and have a donut. Oh, Reba. You are not still trying to lose weight by drinking those power smoothies, are you? Jordan, my trainer, says that those are loaded with hidden carbs. Barbara Jean, I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle. But seriously, I mean, there has to be some sort of... Will you stop staring at her? What? We have been staring at her for like the past 2 hours. Well, she is pretty. I am pretty. Well, of course you are. You have always been pretty. but she is new pretty. Oh, Van, that is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife. Van, you really think that I am new pretty? Oh yeah, you are like a bleached-out Halle Berry. Thank you. You are welcome. I am gonna go make some calls. So, Barbara Jean, yeah? Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight, you want to do, bounce? Ka bounce. Van. Oh, Cheyenne, do not be upset. You are still hot. You are like a bleached-out Jan Brady. January Jan Brady. I am Marcia. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gym and meet Jordan, my trainer. Seriously, he will change your life. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see. Oh, the movies you are going to see? What has that got to do with you getting in shape? Oh, nothing. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you will come meet Jordan? No. Oh, come on, Reba. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend. Boyfriend? Oh, whoops. That came out wrong. Oh. Well, thanks anyway. But I am just going to be here with my smoothie. Delicious. Just like fruit gravy. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean. Here you are. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us? Oh, honey, I cannot. I am going to the gym. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Come on. I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Really? Skip the gym and eat French food? No confondu, brah. Man, she blew me off again. All she wants to do is go down to the gym and spend time with Jordan. Her trainer. Exactly. Frankly, I like the new but the new attitude not so much. Oh, that is really funny coming from the old but. Jordan is so great. Jordan is so toned and funny. Well, I got news for you. Nobody is toned and funny. Rob, you are overreacting. Oh, really? Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. Barbara Jean with her trainer? I mean, sure, he is probably a better man than you are, better looking and younger. But that is it. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the gym and see if there is anything going on. Spy on him for me. No way. Barbara Jean may have a long list of faults. And I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful. Yeah, right. Up until now. But now that she is thin and hot, she has all kinds of options. Look, Brock, if it is worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then. Oh, now there is a great idea. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. Your solutions are ridiculous, Reba. Makes me to spy on those. Stupid. Hard to believe they are supposed to be good for you. Hey, Mrs. H, you off for your power walk? Man, I love old people. Power walking, moving along, swinging their arms. Like there is a big sale for false teeth. No, I am not going for my power walk. This whole physical thing is getting everybody acting wacko. What do you mean? Well, your dad thinks that the guy who gave Barbara Jean her new body is wanting to take a forespin. He probably does. What are you talking about? Guys are pigs. They are dog. The sheer tension in the air was palpable, though whether it was romantic tension or purely athletic was entirely blurred in her mind. Is this one of these gyms that has the heat on real high? I am sweating. Okay. Jordan released the stretch, standing up and clapping his hands together. Oh, wow. Time for some weightlifting. Reba let out a massive sigh of relief. Oh, good. That is enough of that stretching. Hello. Okay. Knock this out. Yeah. Okay. All right. She took a few steps backward, eager to escape the suffocating atmosphere of the stretching zone. I think I have seen enough. Jordan wiped his brow with a towel, looking at her with genuine interest. So, what do you think? You have any interest in getting a personal trainer? Reba looked him up and down. Only if he takes me out to dinner first. Jordan laughed, a hearty, booming sound. Are you sure, Reba? Seriously, this is one of the best relationships I have ever had. Oh, Reba nodded slowly, a knowing look crossing her face. I think Mom does aerobics. She could shatter her hip. Reba turned off the blender, the machine winding down with a pitiful mechanical groan. She leveled a glare at Van that could have frozen a volcano. And yet, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless. Van swallowed hard, taking a respectful step backward. Just then, the front door swung open again. Hey, everybody, Barbara Jean announced, sweeping into the room with the grace of a gazelle. I am here and I am. Oh, shut up and have a donut, Reba snapped, sliding a pink pastry box across the island counter. Barbara Jean gasped lightly, placing a delicate hand over her heart. Oh, Reba, you are not still trying to lose weight by drinking those power smoothies, are you? Jordan, my trainer, says that those are loaded with hidden carbs. Reba stared at her green concoction, suddenly feeling a deep, profound resentment toward the word carbs. She looked back at Barbara Jean, forcing a polite, incredibly tight smile. Barbara Jean, I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle, but seriously, I mean, there has to be some sort of limit. She noticed Van, who was staring fixedly at Barbara Jean, his head tilted to the side like a confused puppy trying to understand a new television program. Reba snapped her fingers in front of his face. Will you stop staring at her? Van blinked, snapping out of his trance. What? We have been staring at her for like the past 2 hours. Well, she is pretty. Reba bristled, folding her arms over her chest. I am pretty. Well, of course you are. Van backpedaled quickly, sensing the danger in the room. You have always been pretty, but she is new pretty. Reba let out a sharp, dry laugh. Oh, Van. That is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife. Barbara Jean, however, was glowing under the praise. She fluttered her eyelashes at Van. Van, you really think that I am new pretty? Oh, yeah, Van said, completely oblivious to the dagger Cheyenne was now glaring into the back of his head. You are like a bleached-out Halle Berry. Barbara Jean beamed. Thank you. You are welcome, Van replied cheerfully. I am going to go make some calls. He turned to leave, but stopped when Cheyenne stepped directly into his path. Her arms crossed tight, her expression a thunderstorm waiting to break. So, Barbara Jean, Cheyenne began, her voice tight and clipped. Yeah? Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight, you want to do, you know? She made a vague, aggressive bouncing motion with her hands.
Bounce ka bounce.
Van's eyes widened in panic. Hum. Cheyenne shouted, realizing her husband was still staring. Oh, Cheyenne, do not be upset, Van pleaded, desperate to fix the situation. You are still hot. You are like a bleached-out Jan Brady.
Januari Jan Brady.
Cheyenne's face crumpled in horror and pure outrage. I am Marcia.
Marcia, Marcia, Marcia.
She spun on her heel and stormed out of the kitchen, her footsteps echoing angrily up the stairs. Barbara Jean watched her go, a look of mild confusion on her face, before turning her brilliant, energetic focus back to Reba. So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gym and meet Jordan, my trainer. Seriously, he will change your life. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. She leaned in close, her voice dropping to an excited, conspiratorial whisper. We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see. Reba raised a single, highly skeptical eyebrow. Whoa, the movies you are going to see? What does that have to do with you getting in shape? Oh, nothing, Barbara Jean laughed, a bright, bubbly sound. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you will come meet Jordan. No, Reba said flatly, picking up her glass of blended green sludge. Oh, come on, Reba. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend. Barbara Jean froze, her hands flying to cover her mouth. Her eyes widened in panic. Boyfriend? Oh, whoops. That came out wrong. Oh. Reba stared at her, the cogs in her mind turning rapidly. A best boyfriend? A trainer who picks out her clothes in movies? Well, thanks anyway, Reba said slowly, taking a hesitant sip of her drink. But I am just going to be here with my smoothie. She winced as the liquid hit her tongue. Delicious, just like fruit gravy. A few hours later, the tension in the house had not dissipated. It had merely moved to the living room. Reba was sitting on the sofa, attempting to read a magazine, when Brock, pacing furiously in front of the television set, interrupted her peace. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean, Brock said loudly, directing his voice toward the hallway as his wife descended the stairs, dressed in fresh, bright pink workout gear. Here you are. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us. Barbara Jean adjusted the strap of her gym bag, looking genuinely apologetic. Oh, honey, I cannot. I am going to the gym. Brock's face fell. He tried to maintain a casual, breezy tone. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Come on. I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Really? Barbara Jean considered it for a fraction of a second. Skip the gym and eat French food? No can fondue bras. With a cheerful wave, she jogged out the front door, leaving Brock standing in the middle of the room, looking utterly defeated. Brock slowly turned to face Reba, his expression a mixture of panic and profound sadness. Man, she blew me off again. All she wants to do is go down to the gym and spend time with Jordan, her trainer. Exactly, Reba said, turning a page in her magazine without looking up. Frankly, I like the new but the new attitude not so much. Brock scowled. Oh, that is really funny coming from the old but. Reba slowly lowered the magazine. The silence that followed was thick and heavy, laden with the weight of 1,000 unspoken threats. Brock instantly realized his mistake. Jordan is so great, he mocked, trying to change the subject back to his own misery. Jordan is so toned and funny. Well, I got news for you. Nobody is toned and funny. Brock, you are overreacting, Reba sighed, setting the magazine aside. She was tired of the drama. Oh, really? Brock began to pace again, his hands running frantically through his hair. Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. Reba stared at him, genuinely shocked. Barbara Jean with her trainer? I mean, sure, he is probably a better man than you are, Brock continued, his insecurities pouring out like a broken dam. Better looking and younger. But... He stopped, staring at Reba with wild, desperate eyes. That is it. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the gym and see if there is anything going on. You know, spy on him for me. Reba laughed, a harsh, incredulous sound. No way, you know. Barbara Jean may have a long list of faults, and I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful. Yeah, right? Brock scoffed, crossing his arms. Up until now. But now that she is thin and hot, she has all kinds of options. Reba stood up, walking over to him. Despite their history, she felt a genuine twinge of sympathy for the man. He looked terrified. Look, Brock, if it is worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then. Brock stared at her for a long moment, letting the advice sink in. Then, his face twisted in utter disgust. Oh, now there is a great idea. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. He threw his hands up in the air. Your solutions are ridiculous, Reba. Makes me want to spy on those. Stupid. He trailed off, muttering incoherently as he stormed out of the room. Reba stood alone in the living room, shaking her head. "Hard to believe they are supposed to be good for you," she whispered to the empty air. Later that afternoon, the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the neighborhood sidewalks. Reba was standing near the front window, holding a freshly mixed smoothie, terror of passing time. The only thing that truly remained unchangeable was the deep, chaotic, and enduring love that held them all together. The morning sun poured through the large bay windows of the suburban kitchen, casting a warm, golden glow over the granite countertops and the meticulously organized spice racks. It was the kind of bright, cheerful morning that usually promised a peaceful day. But inside this particular house, a quiet panic was beginning to unfold. Standing before the wide-open double doors of the walk-in pantry, Van and Ben stared into the dimly lit shelves with expressions of profound disbelief. The pantry, which had been fully stocked only 24 hours prior, now looked as though a gentle but highly efficient tornado had swept through it. "That woman is out of control," Van whispered, his eyes scanning the barren landscape of empty cereal boxes and hollow snack bins. He shook his head slowly, a look of awe mixing with his frustration. "She is like a locust. She has eaten everything in the house." Ben, standing on his tiptoes to peer at the very top shelf, sighed heavily. "She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house too," he pointed out, gesturing toward a small, decorative tray near the stove. "Look, even the salt and pepper shakers are empty. I do not even know how someone eats plain pepper." He turned to look at Van, crossing his arms over his chest. "Why do you not just tell her she has eaten too much?" Van took a dramatic step back, his hands raised in surrender. "You tell her." "No, you tell her." Ben shot back immediately, unwilling to be the messenger of bad news to their notoriously sensitive, albeit incredibly sweet, stepmother figure. He raised his fist, bouncing it lightly in the palm of his other hand. "Rock, paper, scissors. Van, you know you are going to lose." Van narrowed his eyes, accepting the challenge with a competitive spark. "Not this time, buddy. Ready? 1, 2, 3. They threw their hands out simultaneously. Ben proudly displayed a flat palm for paper, while Van's hand formed the classic two-fingered V-shape for scissors. "Wait. No." Van looked down in horror at his own hand, which he had somehow formed into a flat palm as well, right before Ben switched his to a solid rock at the last possible second. "Dang it," Van groaned, dropping his head backward. "How do you always beat me?" Ben grinned, a triumphant twinkle in his eye. "Because you always pick scissors, and when you try to overthink it, you panic. It is my system." He patted Van on the shoulder. "So, you will tell her?" "Yeah, fine," Van muttered, defeat washing over him. Then, a second later, the reality of the situation set in. He shook his head rapidly. "No, I do not want to." "You tell her," Ben insisted, his tone pleading. "Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please." "No, Ben, why should I tell her?" Van argued, desperately searching for a way out. His eyes darted around the kitchen until they landed on Cheyenne, who had just strolled into the room, looking effortlessly radiant. Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks. He paused, flashing a charming, adoring smile at his wife. "By the way, you have been looking hot lately." Cheyenne blushed, waving a hand dismissively but clearly pleased by the compliment. "Oh, you." Van seized the opportunity, stepping closer to her and wrapping an arm around her waist. "Look, sweetie, why do I not let you tell her?" "Thank you," Cheyenne replied brightly, completely missing the trap. Before anyone could clarify what exactly she was agreeing to, the front door swung open with a massive clatter, followed by the sound of heavy, joyous footsteps marching down the hallway. It was Reba carrying an enormous, flat cardboard box that smelled delightfully of melted cheese and baked dough. "Hey, hey, hey," Reba announced, her voice ringing through the house with infectious enthusiasm. "Guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to?" Van and Ben exchanged a look. "Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning," Van murmured under his breath, though a small smile tugged at his lips. Cheyenne walked over to the island counter, leaning against the cool marble. "You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. I mean, it is really just the three of us eating right now." "Oh, I know," Reba replied, setting the massive box down on the counter with a satisfying thud. She popped the lid open, revealing a perfectly golden, steaming masterpiece of culinary art. "But I had to take it. It was free. Somebody will eat it." Almost instantly, a hand shot out from the doorway. "Dibs!" Van yelled, all previous concerns about the pantry completely evaporating at the sight of the gooey mozzarella. Cheyenne sighed, looking from the greasy, delicious pizza to her mother. "You know what, Mom? I am thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here." Reba paused, holding a massive slice of pepperoni pizza halfway to her mouth. She looked deeply offended. "What are you talking about? I am very healthy." As if on cue, the sliding glass door in the living room rattled, and a voice echoed from the patio. Brock was standing there, his hands waving frantically in the air as he shouted at an unseen figure in the yard. "All right, that is it, Mrs. H. Drop it. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it." Brock marched into the kitchen, his face flushed with exasperation. "Drop it, Mrs. H. I cannot stand to see you do this to yourself. It is like you are trying to eat yourself to death." "Why?" He paused, looking around the room. The entire family was staring at him in utter silence. Reba slowly lowered her slice of pizza back into the box. Brock blinked, realizing he was yelling about a dog eating something off the lawn. But the tension in the room suggested a completely different conversation had just been interrupted. He looked at Reba, his brow furrowing in confusion. "What happened to you? What is different?" Before Reba could formulate a sarcastic response, a musical, booming voice echoed from the front foyer. It was a voice that commanded attention, a voice that usually preceded a whirlwind of dramatic energy. "You who? I am here." Footsteps clattered rapidly against the hardwood floor. "And I am thin." Barbara Jean bounded into the kitchen, and the world seemed to stop spinning for a brief, breathless moment. She was wearing a sleek, form-fitting track suit that hugged her in ways no one had ever seen before. Her hair was styled perfectly, her posture was impeccable, and she radiated an aura of absolute, undeniable confidence. The transformation was so drastic, so incredibly sudden, that the entire family simply stood frozen, their jaws slightly unhinged. "Yeah, thin is a stick, and dumb is one," Reba muttered out of sheer habit. But even her heart was not entirely in the insult. She was too stunned. Van was staring with his mouth wide open. "Yikes! What is eating Cooper grape? Look at that." He pointed a trembling finger toward Barbara Jean's new figure. "They look like the number 10. Reba closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and rubbed her temples. Oh, thank God. It was just a nightmare. She opened her eyes, hoping the illusion would fade. "You who? I am here, and I am thin," Barbara Jean repeated, striking a pose that belonged on the cover of a fitness magazine. "And the nightmare continues," Reba whispered to herself, feeling a sudden, inexplicable urge to defend her own territory. As the morning progressed, the atmosphere in the house shifted dramatically. The usual scent of frying bacon and buttery toast was replaced by the terrifying whir of a heavy-duty blender. Reba stood at the counter, violently shoving kale, spinach, and what looked to be a very sad, pale banana into the glass pitcher. Ben wandered into the kitchen, his eyes bleary with sleep, clutching a small, stuffed bear. "Mom, make us some pancakes," he requested softly, his voice full of innocent hope. Reba slammed her hand down on the blender lid. "No, I am making everyone a power smoothie. And this afternoon, I am taking a power walk." Ben blinked, confused by this sudden militant approach to breakfast. Van walked in, catching the tail end of the declaration. He let out a loud, genuine laugh. "Power walk? Oh, forget your power cane. Van, that is not nice." He paused, mimicking a scolding tone before returning to his normal voice. "Big. But he is not as big as Dot. So what do you think? Is there something going on there?" "Look, Brock," Reba started, holding up both hands to slow him down. "I was hoping that I could go down to the gymnasium and check things out and come back and tell you that there is nothing to worry about. But that is it," Brock groaned, burying his face in his hands. "Reba," Barbara Jean's cheerful voice suddenly rang out from the kitchen. "Come on." Reba closed her eyes, taking a deep breath before walking into the kitchen. Brock followed right on her heels, his face flushed with righteous indignation. "Okay, I do not know if they are having an affair or not," Reba said, turning to face Brock and speaking in a low, rushed whisper, "but if they keep working out like that, they might be having a baby." "Man, I knew there was something going on," Brock hissed, his fists clenching at his sides. "Hey, everybody. I am here and I am saying, well." Barbara Jean walked into the room, holding a bottle of water and glowing with post-workout endorphins. "Oh, unei. Do not you honey me," Brock snapped, stepping forward. "What are you talking about?" Barbara Jean asked, her smile faltering in genuine confusion. "Oh man, did you honestly think that I would not find out about you and Jordan?" Brock demanded, his voice rising in volume. "What? We were working out. It was perfectly innocent," Barbara Jean said, looking completely taken aback. She turned to her friend. "Reba, tell him what you saw." "I do not want to get involved," Reba mumbled, taking a step toward the refrigerator. "She said you are having an affair," Brock accused, pointing an accusing finger at his wife. "Any more than I already am," Reba muttered under her breath, staring intently at the magnetic calendar on the fridge door. "Okay, Jordan and I are not having an affair," Barbara Jean said loudly, her voice echoing off the tile walls. "He is gay." The kitchen fell dead silent for the second time that day. "What?" Brock blinked, the angry red flush fading from his cheeks in an instant. "Reba, do you honestly think I would let a straight man grab my breasts?" Barbara Jean asked, her hands on her hips, looking utterly offended. "Excuse me, he grabbed your breasts?" Brock yelped, his panic returning in full force. "He is gay." "He was not touching them," Barbara Jean clarified, rolling her eyes. "He was arranging them. Carry on with your lives." "No, Reba," Barbara Jean turned her attention away from her husband and fixed Reba with a hard, uncharacteristically serious glare. "Everything is not fine. I had no idea you were so threatened by the new me." Reba stiffened, turning around slowly. The slim waist, the toned legs, the phallus, Barbara Jean continued, listing her new attributes with quiet indignation. "The phallus?" Reba asked, crossing her arms defensively. "The girls. Oh, the puppies. I am not threatened by you." "Really?" Barbara Jean challenged, crossing the kitchen floor until they were standing toe-to-toe. "Yeah. Then why did you go down to the gymnasium? What were you spying on me?" "No." Reba looked away, the guilt suddenly heavy in her stomach. "Okay, yes. I went down to the gymnasium because I thought there was something going on between you and Jordan." "Why would you think that?" "Because you have changed," Reba admitted, the words tumbling out of her in a rush. "I have not." "Yes, you have. Ever since you lost all that weight, you are pushy and obnoxious, and you always want to be the center of attention." "Hello? I have always been that way," Barbara Jean countered, throwing her hands in the air. "She kinda got a point there," Brock whispered from the corner of the room, earning a sharp glare from both women. Yeah, well, something has changed, Barbara Jean, Reba insisted, her voice softening slightly. Yeah. The way you guys look at me, Barbara Jean said, her shoulders dropping. Her bright, boisterous energy completely vanished, leaving behind a quiet vulnerability that Reba rarely saw. I am still the same Barbara Jean I always was. I am just less winded. Reba looked at her, really looked at her, and felt a sudden wave of shame wash over her. I know she might be right. Could be us. I am sorry, honey. Brock stepped forward, reaching out to touch his wife's arm. Reba just got me all worked up. That is, look, Barbara Jean. The truth is I think I went down to the gymnasium almost hoping that I would find you doing something wrong. Reba confessed, unable to look her friend in the eye. You know, anything. So I could feel superior to you and your skinny behind. So, I am sorry. Barbara Jean stared at her for a long, quiet moment. Sorry? Yeah. A massive, beaming smile suddenly broke across Barbara Jean's face. This is great. For the first time since we have known each other, you want to be me. I do not want to be you, Reba groaned, burying her face in her hands. I know. It is even better. You want to look like me. Barbara Jean squealed, throwing her arms around Reba in a suffocating, lavender-scented hug. Hey, where are you going? Brock called out as Reba managed to wriggle free from the embrace and march toward the back door. Just gonna go grab something to eat. Reba called back over her shoulder, grabbing her keys from the hook. I will see you next year. Upstairs, the house was quiet. Van was sitting on the edge of the bed in the master bedroom, staring intently at the television screen. He had his game controller in hand, entirely focused on the digital race cars zooming across the track. Hey buddy, what are we watching? Ben asked, poking his head into the room. No, we are not, Van replied immediately, not breaking his focus. Want a rock, paper, scissor for it? Let us go. Ben agreed, stepping fully into the room and raising his hand. You are going to pick scissors, are not you? Van asked, pausing the game and turning to look at his young brother-in-law with absolute certainty. Get out. Ben groaned, turning around and trudging back down the hallway. A moment later, the bedroom door creaked open again. Hey, honey. Cheyenne's voice drifted into the room. Hey, baby. I need to talk to you, Van said, tossing the controller onto the nightstand and turning toward the door. Oh, honey, I just got the television, Cheyenne said, stepping into the light. Van Frosch. Cheyenne was standing there, wearing her usual comfortable pajamas, but perched atop her head was an enormous, incredibly shiny, brightly colored wig. It looked completely ridiculous, completely out of place, and completely wonderful. Well, I started thinking that maybe you do not think of me as new pretty because I do not do enough to keep your interest. Cheyenne explained, her voice trembling slightly as she reached up to adjust the synthetic hair. No, honey, you are way hot, then said automatically, standing up from the bed, guilty. But anyway, I thought that maybe I should, change my look every now and then just to keep things fresh. So, I bought a wig. Cheyenne, put that down, Van said softly, walking across the room and gently lifting the ridiculous hairpiece off her head. He tossed it onto the nearby armchair and took both of her hands in his. Listen to me. I think it is a good thing that when I look at you, I do not see the beautiful girl with the killer bod. I see my wife. Cheyenne looked up at him, her eyes shining with unshed tears. And I am attracted to her whether she is all dressed up, ready to go out or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas. Van continued, his voice steady and full of a quiet, deep sincerity that completely belied his usual goofy demeanor. Really? Cheyenne whispered, a small smile finally breaking through her worry. Yeah. You are beautiful to me because of who you are, Van said, pulling her close. I feel kind of stupid, Cheyenne admitted, resting her head against his chest. That is also who you are, and I love it, Van chuckled softly, kissing the top of her head. Come on, you. He took her hand and gently pulled her toward the bed. Where are we going? Cheyenne asked, looking up at him in surprise. Oh, we are going upstairs, Van announced proudly, gesturing vaguely toward the ceiling. Hold on. I thought you did not want me to leave you alone. Cheyenne laughed, pulling him back down to sit beside her. Sometimes I want to feel new pretty, Van admitted, flashing her a brilliant, charming smile. And as they sat together in the quiet warmth of their room, far away from the chaotic dietary battles of the kitchen and the exhausting, muscle-burning realities of the fitness center, the house finally settled into a peaceful, perfect rhythm, proving once again that despite the panic over waistlines and that's supposed to be good for you. Meanwhile, out in the backyard, Van was sitting on the patio, looking deeply philosophical as he stared at the freshly mowed lawn. An older woman, walking at a brisk, purposeful pace, passed by the fence, her arms pumping in a wide, rhythmic motion. Hey, Mrs. H, you off for your power walk? Van called out, watching her go. He leaned back in his chair, shaking his head with a gentle smile. Man, I love old people. Power walking, moving along, swinging their arms, like there is a big sale for false teeth. Cheyenne stepped out onto the patio, wrapping her arms tightly around herself despite the warm afternoon sun. No, I am not going for my power walk. This whole physical thing is getting everybody acting wacko. What do you mean? Van asked, gesturing for her to sit down beside him. Well, your dad thinks that the guy who gave Barbara Jean her new body is wanting to take a forespin, Cheyenne explained, her brow furrowed in worry. He probably does. What are you talking about? Guys are pigs. They are dogs. They are all animals. They just care about hot women. They are hot dogs. Van nodded solemnly, as if delivering a profound truth about the universe. My point is that when you got a hot lady, you got to keep your guard up at all times. Cheyenne looked down at her hands, her voice dropping to a whisper. I used to. You used to? Van asked, his eyes widening in alarm. No, baby, do not take it like that. It is just that I have grown into a mature, stable individual. That is all. Well, I do not like it, Cheyenne burst out, tears springing to her eyes as she turned and ran back into the house, slamming the sliding glass door behind her. Van sat alone on the patio, blinking in confusion. Inside, Reba was still battling her conscience. She wandered into the living room, where Ben was sitting on the sofa, aggressively mashing buttons on a video game controller. Where have you been? Reba asked, sitting down beside him. I went to get something to eat. So, Ben, you think that Brock might be right about this trainer? Reba asked, staring blankly at the bright colors flashing across the television screen. Sure, this guy could be hot for Barbara Jean, Ben replied, never taking his eyes off his game. But since Barbara Jean is not looking to play, there is no problem. And it is obvious Barbara Jean is not looking. Why is this obvious? Reba pressed, genuinely curious about her youngest son's sudden insight into adult relationships. 2 reasons, Ben stated simply. Barbara Jean is not good at keeping secrets, and she thinks of you as her best friend. If she were fooling around with this guy, she would be constantly talking about him to you. Heck, she would probably even want you to meet him. Meet him? Reba repeated, the memory of Barbara Jean's earlier invitation suddenly rushing back to her in sharp, horrifying detail. Oh! She leaped off the sofa, grabbing her purse from the entryway table. Where are you going? Ben asked, finally looking up from his game. Go down to the gymnasium with the rest of the wackos. All right. Well, keep those arms a-swinging, Ben called out as the front door slammed shut. The fitness center was a symphony of clanking metal, rhythmic electronic music, and the heavy, synchronized breathing of dozens of incredibly fit people. Reba walked through the sliding glass doors, immediately feeling underdressed in her comfortable jeans and cotton shirt. The air smelled of expensive citrus cleaner and sweat. Oh hey Reba, you came. Reba turned to see Barbara Jean standing near a row of treadmills. She was practically glowing, clad in matching lavender workout gear that clung to every newly toned curve. Yeah, Reba replied, her eyes darting nervously around the cavernous room. Man, there is a lot of beautiful people around here. You should see them naked in the shower, Barbara Jean whispered enthusiastically, grabbing Reba by the wrist and pulling her deeper into the gymnasium. Hey, a deep, resonant voice called out. Reba turned to see a man walking toward them. He looked like he had been carved out of marble. His shoulders were impossibly broad, his smile blindingly white, and his athletic shirt clung to his torso like a second skin. Jordan, Barbara Jean beamed, her face lighting up like a Christmas tree. Hey, ready to start, Barbara Jean? Jordan asked, his voice smooth and confident. Yeah. Hey, you look great in that outfit. Oh, well, the other woman is getting kind of baggy, Barbara Jean giggled, batting her eyelashes in a way Reba had never seen before. Can you believe her? She did the impossible. She lost all that weight and kept these fellas. Oh. Barbara Jean shimmied her shoulders, and Reba felt her jaw drop in pure, unadulterated shock. Okay, Jordan, Barbara Jean continued, completely unaware of Reba's internal panic. Jordan, this is my friend, Reba. Hey, I am Jordan, he said, flashing Reba a dazzling smile and extending a large, calloused hand. I am Reba, she managed to squeak out, shaking his hand hesitantly. So, you gonna join us, Reba? Jordan asked, gesturing toward the open mat area. Oh, I do not know, Reba stammered, taking a step backward. I just think that me and my fellows will just watch for a while. Well, Reba, you are not going to get into shape by just watching, Jordan laughed, patting her lightly on the shoulder. Yeah, but you guys got to understand, it has been a while since I have been in a gymnasium like this, and I do not think. Hello, there. Jordan suddenly turned his attention back to Barbara Jean, who had dropped down onto a blue exercise mat. Barbara Jean, you really are getting limber. Remember when you could not put your leg over my head? Remember when I did not want to? Barbara Jean laughed back, stretching her leg upward. Reba watched in absolute horror as Jordan positioned himself over Barbara Jean, guiding her leg through an intense, incredibly close stretch. Is that legal? I mean, necessary? Reba stammered, her eyes wide as saucers as she watched the sheer physical proximity of the two of them. It is critical to stretch the muscles out before you exercise them, Jordan explained without missing a beat, his hands firmly on Barbara Jean. Yeah. Otherwise, you could really hurt something. Turn over. Barbara Jean flipped over onto her stomach, and Jordan pressed down on her back. Reba, you need to watch this one. This one is my favorite, Barbara Jean muffled into the mat. All right. Now, this gives a good stretch to the back and chest muscles, Jordan narrated, pulling her arms gently upward. Really should do this once a day. Oh, I would do it all day if I could, Barbara Jean purred. Reba felt a bead of sweat roll down her neck. Is this one of these gymnasiums that has the heat on real high? I am sweating. Okay. Oh wow. Time for some weightlifting. Oh good. That is enough of that stretching. Hello. Okay. Knock this out. Yeah. Okay. All right. She babbled nervously, backing away toward the heavy machinery section. I think I have seen enough. So what do you think? Barbara Jean asked, sitting up and wiping a delicate line of sweat from her forehead. You have any interest in getting a personal trainer? Only if he takes me out to dinner first. Are you sure, Reba? Jordan asked earnestly, standing up and grabbing a towel. Seriously, this is one of the best relationships I have ever had. Oh, Reba forced a tight, high-pitched laugh. I think Jordan has his hands full with you. Oh, you are a beginner, Reba, Jordan said, clapping his hands together. You will start with Dot. Yeah. A thunderous voice echoed across the fitness center. From behind a row of enormous squat racks stepped a woman who looked like she could comfortably carry a small car on her back. Her arms were covered in pulsing veins, and her expression was completely devoid of mercy. "This is Reba," Jordan introduced. "She seems a little tense. I would spend some extra time on the stretching." "Hey," Dot grunted, cracking her knuckles. "Get down there." Reba did not wait to say goodbye. She turned and sprinted for the sliding glass doors, leaving the scent of citrus and the terror of Dot far behind her. The drive home felt entirely too short. When she walked through the front door, Brock was pacing holes into the living room carpet. He practically lunged at her the second she stepped inside. "So, did you see him? What is he like? Is he little? Could I take him?" Brock fired the questions like a machine gun, his eyes wide with frantic, jealous energy. "He is b****. What is eating Cooper grape? Look at that. They look like the number 10. Reba gasped, her eyes snapping open. She was back in her bed, her heart hammering against her ribs like a trapped bird. The early morning light was filtering through the curtains. She let out a long, ragged exhale, wiping a bead of sweat from her forehead. Oh, thank goodness it was just a nightmare. But as she stumbled downstairs and walked into the kitchen, the very real, waking world proved to be just as startling. The back door swung open, and the exact same booming, cheerful voice from her dream shattered the morning peace. "Yoo-hoo! I am here, and I am thin." Reba stared, her jaw practically hitting the linoleum. Standing in the doorway was Barbara Jean. But this was not the Barbara Jean who used to bake endless trays of muffins and complain about swollen ankles. This woman was sculpted, radiant, and wearing an outfit that looked like it belonged on the cover of a fitness magazine. "And the nightmare continues," Reba muttered under her breath, watching as Barbara Jean practically glided across the kitchen floor. "My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I want to be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. With gentle hands and the heart of a fighter, I am a survivor." "Mom, make us some pancakes." Ben interrupted her internal monologue, tugging at her sleeve. "No," Reba said firmly, shaking off her shock and turning toward the blender. "I am making everyone a power smoothie. And this afternoon I am taking a power walk." "Power walk?" Van scoffed from the kitchen table, his mouth full of cereal. "Oh, forget your power cane." "Van, that is not nice," Cheyenne scolded, hitting his arm lightly. "Mom does aerobics. She could shatter her hip." Reba glared at her daughter, pouring a viciously green mixture into a tall glass. "And yet, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless." "Hey, everybody," Barbara Jean chimed in again, tossing her highlighted hair over her shoulder. "I am here and I am." "Oh, shut up and have a donut," Reba snapped, sliding a plate of powdered pastries toward her. "Oh, Reba," Barbara Jean laughed, a light, musical sound that grated on Reba's nerves. "You are not still trying to lose weight by drinking those power smoothies, are you? Jordan, my trainer, says that those are loaded with hidden carbohydrates." "Barbara Jean, I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle," Reba said, leaning heavily against the counter. "But seriously, I mean, there has to be some sort of—" She stopped abruptly, noticing Van staring openly at their guest with his jaw slightly slack. "Will you stop staring at her?" "What?" Van blinked, shaking his head as if waking from a trance. "We have been staring at her for like the past 2 hours." "Well, she is pretty," Cheyenne admitted, her voice carrying a tiny, vulnerable squeak. "I am pretty," Barbara Jean beamed, striking a casual pose that showed off her newly defined waistline. "Well, of course you are," Cheyenne continued, twisting a napkin nervously in her hands. "You have always been pretty, but she is new pretty." "Oh, Van, that is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife," Reba said dryly, watching the marital tension brew. "Van, you really think that I am new pretty?" Barbara Jean asked, her eyes fluttering with innocent delight. Oh, yeah. Van nodded enthusiastically, completely oblivious to his wife's darkening expression. You are like a bleached-out Halle Berry. Thank you, Barbara Jean smiled warmly. You are welcome, Van replied with a confident nod. I am going to go make some calls. He spun around and marched out of the kitchen, leaving a trail of awkward silence in his wake. Cheyenne looked like she was about to cry. So, Barbara Jean. Yeah. Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight, you want to do, bounce, bounce? Van. Cheyenne wailed, her hands flying to her face in utter despair. Oh, Cheyenne, do not be upset, Van shouted from the hallway, poking his head back into the kitchen. You are still hot. You are like a bleached-out Jan Brady. January Jan Brady. I am Marcia. Cheyenne sobbed indignantly, storming past him.
Marcia, Marcia, Marcia.
Barbara Jean turned back to Reba, completely unfazed by the domestic drama. So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gymnasium and meet Jordan, my trainer. Seriously, he will change your life. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see. Whoa! Reba held up a hand, setting down her glass of green sludge. The movies you are going to see? What has that got to do with you getting in shape? Oh, nothing. Barbara Jean waved her hand dismissively, her smile turning wide and bright. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you will come meet Jordan? No. Oh, come on. Reba, Barbara Jean pleaded, leaning across the counter. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend. The kitchen fell dead silent. Boyfriend? Reba repeated, her eyebrows shooting up toward her hairline. Oh, whoops. That came out wrong. Barbara Jean giggled, slapping her hand over her mouth. Well, thanks anyway, but I am just going to be here with my smoothie. Reba picked up her glass and took a defiant sip, immediately wincing at the taste. Delicious, just like fruit gravy. Later that afternoon, the house was finally quiet. Reba was wiping down the kitchen counters when the front door opened, and her ex-husband, Brock, walked in. He looked tired, his shoulders slumped beneath his expensive suit jacket. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean, he called out, glancing around the empty living room. Here you are. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us? Barbara Jean emerged from the hallway, adjusting the strap of her sleek athletic bag. Oh, honey, I cannot. I am going to the gymnasium. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Brock asked, his voice laced with a genuine, almost desperate plea. Come on, I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Really? Skip the gymnasium and eat French food? Barbara Jean laughed, patting his cheek affectionately. No confondu, bras. With a final, breezy wave, she walked out the door, leaving Brock standing alone in the foyer, looking completely defeated. Reba watched him from the kitchen, a mix of pity and amusement bubbling up inside her. Man, she blew me off again, Brock muttered, walking into the kitchen and collapsing into a chair at the table. All she wants to do is go down to the gymnasium and spend time with Jordan, her trainer. Exactly. Reba leaned against the counter, crossing her arms. Frankly, I like the new behind, but the new attitude not so much. Oh, that is really funny coming from the old behind, Brock shot back defensively, though the energy behind his insult was weak. Jordan is so great. Jordan is so toned and funny. Well, I got news for you. Nobody is toned and funny. Brock, you are overreacting, Reba sighed, grabbing a dish towel. Oh, really? Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. Reba stopped wiping the counter. Barbara Jean with her trainer? I mean, sure, he is probably a better man than you are, better looking and younger. But that is it. Brock stood up, his eyes wide with sudden determination. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the gymnasium and see if there is anything going on. Spy on him for me." "No way," Reba said, throwing the dish towel onto the counter. "Barber Jean may have a long list of faults, and I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful." "Yeah, right. Up until now," Brock argued, pacing the length of the kitchen. "But now that she is thin and hot, she has all kinds of options." "Look, Brock, if it is worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then." Brock stopped pacing and stared at her as if she had lost her mind. "Oh, now there is a great idea. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. Your solutions are ridiculous. Reba," he threw his hands in the air, a picture of midlife frustration, "makes me to spy on those. Stupid." He trailed off, storming out the back door and leaving Reba alone with the blender. She looked down at the remaining green sludge in the glass. "Hard to believe they are way hot." She offered a small, sad smile, acknowledging the compliment but unable to internalize it. "Guilty. But anyway, I thought that maybe I should, change my look every now and then just to keep things fresh. So." She reached behind her back, producing an object with a profound sense of dramatic revelation. She held it up in the dim light of the bedroom. It was a mass of synthetic hair, styled in a wildly different color and cut than her natural hair. "I bought a wig." The young man stared at the object for a long moment, completely silent. The absurdity of the situation, the depths of her insecurity, hit him with a profound, aching clarity. He reached out slowly, his hand gentle and reassuring. "Cheyenne, put that down," he said, his voice softer, deeper than usual. She lowered her hand, looking at him with wide, uncertain eyes. He moved closer, his gaze locked intensely onto hers. The boyish charm was gone, replaced by the steady, unwavering sincerity of a man deeply in love. "Listen to me," he began, his words deliberate and entirely honest. "I think it is a good thing that when I look at you, I do not see the beautiful girl with the killer bod." Cheyenne flinched slightly, the words landing like a soft blow, confirming her deepest, darkest fears. She looked down at the floor, the weight of inadequacy pressing heavily upon her shoulders. But he reached out, gently tilting her chin up so she had to look at him. His eyes were entirely serious, glowing with a quiet, undeniable truth. "I see my wife," he stated simply, the words carrying an immense, beautiful weight. "And I am attracted to her whether she is all dressed up, ready to go out, or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas." Cheyenne searched his face, desperately looking for any sign of deception, any hint that he was just saying the words to make her feel better. But she found only absolute honesty. "Really?" she whispered, her voice tight with unshed tears. "Yeah," he nodded slowly, a small, incredibly tender smile touching his lips. He reached up, gently brushing a stray lock of her natural hair behind her ear. "You are beautiful to me because of who you are." A profound silence descended upon the room, a quiet, sacred space where insecurity was entirely banished by the overwhelming power of genuine love. Cheyenne let out a long, shaky breath, the heavy burden of comparison lifting from her shoulders. She looked down at the ridiculous wig in her hand, suddenly feeling entirely foolish. "Ah," she murmured, a soft laugh escaping her lips. "I feel kind of stupid." He chuckled, pulling her gently into his arms. He rested his chin on the top of her head, holding her close, safe, and entirely secure. "That is also who you are, and I love it." She leaned into his embrace, closing her eyes, feeling the steady, reassuring beat of his heart. The chaos of the day, the endless pursuit of physical perfection, the terrifying fear of losing love, all faded into insignificance. After a long moment, he pulled back slightly, a mischievous spark returning to his eyes. He took her hand, pulling her gently toward the door. "Come on, you." She looked up at him, a genuine smile finally gracing her features. "Where are we going?" He grinned, a wicked, joyful expression. "Oh, we are going upstairs." She laughed, a bright, happy sound that echoed in the quiet hallway. "Hold on. I thought you did not want me to leave you alone." He stopped, turning to look at her, his expression a mix of profound love and playful desire. He pulled her close again, his voice dropping to a low, intimate whisper. "Sometimes I want to feel new pretty." The morning sun streamed through the kitchen windows, casting a warm, golden glow over the worn oak table. It was a typical morning, filled with the familiar sense of coffee brewing and the lingering, undeniable absence of breakfast foods. Reba stood near the pantry, her hands resting on her hips as she stared into the barren shelves. Next to her stood her son-in-law, Van, and her daughter, Cheyenne. Ben, her youngest son, leaned against the counter, observing the empty space with wide eyes. "That woman is out of control. She is like a locust." Reba shook her head, letting out a heavy sigh as she gestured toward the depleted pantry. "She has eaten everything in the house." Van crossed his arms, his expression a mixture of awe and mild terror. "She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house too. Look, even the salt and pepper shakers are empty." He pointed a trembling finger at the glass shakers resting abandoned on the center island. "Why do you not just tell her she has eaten too much? You tell her." Reba turned her gaze toward the tall, athletic young man. "No, you tell her. Let us settle this the old-fashioned way. Rock, paper, scissors." "Ben," she added, glancing over at her son with a knowing smirk, "you know you are going to lose." "Not this time," Ben declared, puffing out his chest with the boundless confidence only a young boy could possess. 1, 2, 3. They threw their hands forward. Reba displayed a flat palm for paper, while Ben produced 2 extended fingers. Van, standing proudly in the center, held out his hand in the exact same 2-fingered shape. "Dang it!" Ben dropped his hand, his face falling in sheer frustration. "How do you always beat me?" Reba chuckled, pouring herself a cup of black coffee. "Because you always pick scissors." "Of course I do," Ben muttered, kicking lightly at the linoleum floor. "It is my system." Van patted the boy on the shoulder, completely missing the irony of his own choices, before turning back to Reba. "So you will tell her?" "Yeah, fine," Reba muttered, taking a sip of the bitter brew. Suddenly, the reality of confronting their ravenous guest set in. She lowered her mug. "No, I do not want to." "You tell her," Van pleaded, leaning forward with a desperate, puppy-dog expression. "Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please." "No, Van, why should I tell her?" Reba shot back, her tone sharp but threaded with amusement. "Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks," Van explained, his logic twisting into a strange knot. He paused, his gaze softening as he looked at Cheyenne. "By the way, you have been looking hot lately." Cheyenne smiled, her cheeks flushing a delicate shade of pink. "Oh, you?" Reba rolled her eyes at the sudden display of young romance right in the middle of their crisis. "Look, sweetie, why do I not tell her?" "Thank you," Van breathed a sigh of immense relief. Just then, the back door swung open with a loud creak, and the matriarch herself stepped inside, holding a massive, flat cardboard box. "Hey, hey, hey, guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to?" Reba set her mug down on the counter with a soft thud. "Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning. You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. I mean, it is really just the 3 of us." "Oh, I know," the older woman replied, her eyes gleaming with the triumph of a successful bargain hunter as she set the greasy box down onto the pristine kitchen counter. "But I had to take it. It was free. Somebody will eat it." "Oh, Dibs! Ben shouted instantly, lunging toward the cardboard box with the speed of a starving wildcat. You know what, Mom? Reba began, her voice taking on a thoughtful, determined edge as she watched Ben pull a massive, cheese-stringing slice from the box. I am thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here. What are you talking about? Her mother shot back, a look of pure defensive bewilderment crossing her face. I am very healthy. Before Reba could formulate a response, the scene around her seemed to blur. The kitchen walls warped, the smell of pizza faded into a strange, sterile scent, and suddenly she was standing in what felt like a bizarre dreamscape. All right, that is it, Mrs. H. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. Reba found herself yelling at a hazy figure. Mrs. H. Her voice trembling slightly. That maybe you do not think of me as new pretty because I do not do enough to keep your interest. The young man's eyes widened in genuine surprise. He shook his head vigorously, leaning forward. The very idea was entirely absurd to him. No, honey, The idea of participating in whatever torture they were about to perform was entirely unappealing. Oh, I do not know. I just think that me and my fellows will just watch for a while. Jordan's smile faltered for a fraction of a second, his trainer instincts kicking in. Well, Reba, you are not going to get into shape by just watching. You need to sweat a little. Reba shook her head, trying to maintain a polite but firm distance. Yeah, but you guys got to understand, it has been a while since I have been in a gym like this, and I do not think. She was cut off mid-sentence. Jordan had smoothly transitioned into the stretching phase of the workout, and the visual unfolding before Reba was profoundly, deeply disturbing. Hello, there, Jordan instructed. He had positioned Barbara Jean on a blue foam mat. He was maneuvering her limbs with a familiar, easy confidence that sent alarm bells ringing furiously in Reba's mind. Barbara Jean, you really are getting limber. Remember when you could not put your leg over my head? Barbara Jean laughed, the sound bubbling with a strange, intimate joy. Remember when I did not want to? Reba stared, her eyes wide, entirely unable to process the geometry of the situation. She stepped forward, her voice a hesitant, horrified squeak. Is that legal? I mean, necessary? Jordan looked up, his expression completely professional and entirely serious. It is critical to stretch the muscles out before you exercise them. Yeah. Otherwise, you could really hurt something. He patted Barbara Jean's shoulder gently. Turn over. Barbara Jean flipped onto her stomach with practiced ease. She looked over at her friend, her face flushed and happy. Reba, you need to watch this one. This one is my favorite. Jordan positioned himself behind her, grasping her arms. All right, now this gives a good stretch to the back and chest muscles. He pulled gently, and Barbara Jean let out a soft groan of approval. Really should do this once a day. Oh, I would do it all day if I could. Barbara Jean sighed, her eyes closed in pure bliss. Reba felt a sudden, intense wave of heat flush through her entire body. The air in the gym suddenly felt impossibly thick and stifling. She pulled at the collar of her shirt, completely overwhelmed by the profound intimacy of the display. You know, is this one of these gyms that has the heat on real high? I am sweating. Jordan gently released his client. Okay, oh wow, time for some weightlifting. Reba let out a massive sigh of relief. The stretching was finally over. Oh good, that is enough of that stretching. Hello, okay. She gestured toward the formidable-looking machines nearby. Knock this out. Yeah, okay, all right. She took a slow, deliberate breath, steadying herself. She had seen what she needed to see. The dynamic between the two was undeniably close, uncomfortably physical, and brimming with a terrifying kind of chemistry. She began to back away toward the exit. You know, I think I have seen enough. Barbara Jean sat up, looking disappointed. So, what do you think? You have any interest in getting a personal trainer? Reba offered a dry, humorless smile. Only if he takes me out to dinner first. Barbara Jean completely missed the sarcasm, leaning forward with deep, earnest enthusiasm. Are you sure, Reba? Seriously, this is one of the best relationships I have ever had. The words hung in the air, confirming every fear Brock had voiced. Reba swallowed hard. Oh, I think Jordan has his hands full with you. Oh, you are a beginner. Reba, Barbara Jean said cheerfully, waving to someone across the room. You will start with Dot. Yeah. This is Reba. A woman the size of a small mountain materialized from the shadows of the free weight section. She possessed arms thicker than Reba's thighs and an expression that suggested she chewed gravel for breakfast. Barbara Jean beamed. She seems a little tense. I would spend some extra time on the stretching. Dot cracked her knuckles, a terrifying smile spreading across her face. She pointed a massive finger toward the blue foam mat. Hey, get down there. Reba turned and fled the gym, the pounding bass of the music echoing in her ears long after she had reached the safety of her car. The atmosphere in the living room was thick with anticipation. Brock sat on the edge of the sofa, his leg bouncing with nervous energy. The moment Reba walked through the front door, he leaped to his feet, his eyes wide and desperate. So, did you see him? Brock demanded, the questions tumbling out in a rapid, frantic stream. What is he like? Is he little? Could I take him? Reba closed the door slowly, leaning against it for support. The image of the enormous female trainer was permanently burned into her retinas. She shook her head slowly, a grim expression settling on her features. He is big, but he is not as big as Dot. Brock waved a hand impatiently, dismissing the strange reference. So, what do you think? Is there something going on there? Reba walked slowly into the center of the room. She looked at her ex-husband, seeing the profound vulnerability etched into the lines of his face. She hated being the bearer of bad news, but she had a duty to tell the truth. Look, Brock, she began softly, her voice filled with genuine sympathy. I was hoping that I could go down to the gym and check things out and come back and tell you that there is nothing to worry about. But Brock's face fell. The color drained from his cheeks. He sank heavily back onto the sofa. That is it. Reba, come on. Okay, Reba continued, taking a deep breath. She had to be honest about the bizarre physical spectacle she had witnessed. I do not know if they are having an affair or not, but if they keep working out like that, they might be having a baby. Brock buried his face in his hands, letting out a long, agonizing groan. The worst of his fears, the terrifying scenarios that had played out in his mind, were being confirmed. Man, I knew there was something going on. Before the weight of the revelation could fully settle, the front door swung open again. Barbara Jean breezed into the house, completely oblivious to the heavy, oppressive atmosphere that had descended upon the living room. She was glowing, a wide smile plastered across her face. Hey, everybody, she sang out brightly. I am here, and I am saying well. She stopped, finally noticing the two figures frozen in the room. She offered a cheerful wave. Oh, unei. Brock stood up slowly. The sadness and insecurity that had plagued him for days instantly hardened into sharp, protective anger. He pointed a trembling finger at his wife, his voice dark and accusing. Do not you honey me. Barbara Jean blinked, entirely bewildered by the sudden hostility. The cheerful energy drained from her posture. What are you talking about? Brock let out a bitter, hollow laugh. He shook his head, his eyes burning with betrayal. Oh man, did you honestly think that I would not find out about you and Jordan? The silence that followed was profound. Barbara Jean stared at him, her brow furrowed in genuine, unadulterated confusion. What? She finally managed to say, her voice barely a whisper. We were working out. It was perfectly innocent. Brock turned to Reba, gesturing wildly toward the woman standing by the door. Reba, tell him what you saw. Reba took a sharp step backward, suddenly terrified by the raging storm she had helped create. She held her hands up, desperately wanting to be anywhere else. I do not want to get involved. She said you are having an affair, Brock stated bluntly, the words hanging in the air like a heavy, poisonous cloud. Barbara Jean's eyes widened in sheer, absolute horror. She looked from Brock to Reba, her mouth opening and closing soundlessly. Any more than I already am, she muttered, the irony of her past completely lost in the panic of the present. She took a deep breath, visibly steadying herself. She squared her shoulders, looking her husband directly in the eye, her voice ringing with the clarity of absolute truth. Okay, Jordan and I are not having an affair. She paused, delivering the final, irrefutable piece of evidence. He is gay. The words echoed in the sudden silence of the room. Brock's defensive posture crumbled. He blinked, the anger draining from his face, replaced by a profound, echoing emptiness. What? Barbara Jean turned her. I want you to go down to the gym and see if there is anything going on. He lowered his voice, his eyes pleading. You know, spy on him for me. Reba, who had been quietly observing the meltdown, set down her magazine with a firm, decisive thud. No way, she stated, her tone leaving absolutely zero room for argument. She stood up, walking toward him, her expression a mix of pity and profound annoyance. You know, Barbara Jean may have a long list of faults. She paused, a wry smile touching her lips. And I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful. Brock shook his head, refusing to accept the reassurance. Yeah, right, up until now. But now that she is thin and hot, she has all kinds of options. The fear of being replaced, of being entirely inadequate, was etched deeply into his features. Reba sighed, her heart softening just a fraction for the pathetic sight before her. She crossed her arms, taking on the role of a reluctant marriage counselor. Look, Brock, if it is worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then. Brock stared at her, his expression twisting into one of utter disgust. Oh, now, there is a great idea, he said, his voice dripping with heavy sarcasm. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. He threw his hands up in the air. Your solutions are ridiculous, Reba. Makes me to spy on those. Stupid. He trailed off, unable to form a coherent sentence through his frustration. He stomped out of the room, leaving a trail of pure, unadulterated insecurity in his wake. Reba watched him go, a profound sense of exhaustion settling over her. She picked up her glass of green sludge, eyeing it with deep suspicion. Hard to believe they are supposed to be good for you, she muttered to the empty room. The house offered no respite from the madness. Everywhere she turned, the topic of physical perfection and its consequences seemed to dominate the conversation. She wandered toward the front hall, encountering a young man preparing to leave. Hey, Mrs. H, you off for your power walk? He asked cheerfully, oblivious to the storm clouds gathering over the household. Reba offered a tight smile. Man, I love old people. Power walking, moving along, swinging their arms, like there is a big sale for false teeth. She sighed, the fight leaving her. No, I am not going for my power walk. This whole physical thing is getting everybody acting wacko. The young man tilted his head, genuinely confused. What do you mean? Reba leaned against the wall, pouring out the chaotic events of the afternoon. Well, your dad thinks that the guy who gave Barbara Jean her new body is wanting to take a forespin. A look of dark, absolute certainty crossed the young man's face. He nodded slowly. He probably does. Reba looked at him, surprised by the swiftness of his judgment. What are you talking about? He leaned in, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, sharing the universal, cynical truth he believed to be absolute. Guys are pigs. They are dogs. They are all animals. He gestured toward the door Barbara Jean had exited through hours ago. They just care about hot women. They are hot dogs. He paused, satisfied with his own profound analogy. My point is that when you got a hot lady, you got to keep your guard up at all times. A female voice floated from the nearby living room, sharp and hurt. I used to. The young man spun around, his eyes wide with panic. You used to? He stammered, his confident facade crumbling instantly. No, baby, do not take it like that. It is just that I have grown into a mature, stable individual. That is all. The response from the living room was cold and unforgiving. Well, I do not like it. Footsteps retreated up the stairs, leaving the young man standing alone in the hallway. Reba raised an eyebrow. Where have you been? He pointed vaguely toward the kitchen, his voice laced with defeat. I went to get something to eat. Reba retreated to the kitchen, seeking solace in the quiet hum of the refrigerator. She found another family member there, leaning against the counter, looking surprisingly calm amidst the raging storm of insecurity. So, Ben, Reba asked, needing a grounded perspective, you think that Brock might be right about this trainer? Ben considered the question carefully, his demeanor analytical and remarkably mature for his years. Sure, this guy could be hot for Barbara Jean, but since Barbara Jean is not looking to play, there is no problem, and it is obvious Barbara Jean is not looking. Reba leaned forward, genuinely curious. Why is this obvious? Ben ticked the points off on his fingers. 2 reasons. Barbara Jean is not good at keeping secrets, and she thinks of you as her best friend. If she were fooling around with this guy, she would be constantly talking about him to you. Heck, she would probably even want you to meet him. The words struck Reba with the force of a physical blow. The memory of the morning's conversation flashed vividly in her mind. Barbara Jean's manic enthusiasm, her slip of the tongue calling Jordan her boyfriend, her desperate pleading for Reba to come to the gym and meet him. Meet him, Reba whispered, her eyes widening in sudden, terrifying realization. The pieces clicked into place, forming a picture she desperately did not want to see. She grabbed her purse from the counter, her movements sudden and frantic. Ben watched her, startled by the abrupt change in energy. Oh, where are you going? Reba marched toward the front door, her voice carrying a grim, unwavering determination. Go down to the gym with the rest of the wackos. Ben called after her, a touch of dark humor in his voice. All right, well, keep those arms a-swinging. The gym was a terrifying temple of sweat, spandex, and relentless, pulsating music. The air was thick with the scent of exertion and highly concentrated cleaning supplies. Mirrors lined every wall, reflecting endless images of perfectly sculpted bodies in constant motion. Reba stood awkwardly near the entrance, feeling entirely out of place in her comfortable, everyday clothes. She felt like an alien observing a strange, hyperactive species. A cheerful voice pierced the heavy bass of the background music. Oh, hey, Reba, you came. Reba turned to see Barbara Jean approaching, glowing with a light sheen of sweat, looking impossibly energized. Reba offered a weak, tight smile, her eyes darting nervously around the cavernous room. Yeah, man. There is a lot of beautiful people around here. You should see them naked in the shower. A tall, incredibly muscular man materialized beside Barbara Jean. He possessed a smile so bright and teeth so white they practically glowed in the fluorescent lighting. He moved with the fluid grace of a panther, his every motion an advertisement for physical perfection. Hey, he said, his voice deep and smooth. Jordan. Reba extended a hand, feeling intensely inadequate. Hey! Jordan turned his attention back to his client, his focus intense and unwavering. Ready to start, Barbara Jean? Yeah, Barbara Jean replied, her voice breathy with anticipation. Jordan took a step back, his eyes sweeping over her brightly colored workout gear. He offered a slow, appreciative nod. Hey, you look great in that outfit. Barbara Jean giggled, a sound that grated on Reba's already frayed nerves. Oh, well, the other woman is getting kind of baggy. She gestured toward Reba, her smile completely devoid of self-awareness. Can you believe her? She did the impossible. She lost all that weight and kept these fellas. She pointed enthusiastically at her own chest. Reba's jaw dropped. The sheer audacity of the statement left her temporarily speechless. Oh, okay, Jordan, Barbara Jean chirped, completely ignoring the stunned silence. She gestured grandly toward her friend. Jordan, this is my friend, Reba. Jordan beamed, radiating a terrifying level of enthusiasm. Hey, I am Jordan. Reba forced a nod. I am Reba. Jordan clapped his massive hands together, the sound echoing like a gunshot over the music. So, you going to join us, Reba? Reba took a distinct step backward, holding her hands up in a gesture of surrender. She could shatter her hip. Reba turned off the blender, the sudden silence heavy in the room. She leveled a calm, terrifyingly serious gaze at the young couple. And yet, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless. The threat hung in the air, effectively silencing any further commentary on her age or exercise choices. Just then, the source of the household's current upheaval made her entrance. Barbara Jean strolled into the kitchen, her newly slender figure practically vibrating with energy. She wore brightly colored athletic wear that highlighted every missing pound. Hey, everybody, she announced, striking another pose. I am here and I am. Before she could finish her triumphant declaration, Reba slid a plate across the kitchen island. On it sat a perfectly glazed, deeply unhealthy pastry. Oh, shut up and have a donut. Barbara Jean looked at the pastry as if it were a highly venomous snake. She recoiled slightly, placing a hand over her heart in mock horror. Oh, Reba, you are not still trying to lose weight by drinking those power smoothies, are you? She leaned in, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, armed with the superior knowledge of the recently enlightened. Jordan, my trainer, says that those are loaded with hidden carbs. Reba took a slow, deliberate sip of her green sludge, her eyes fixed on the other woman. The taste was chalky and intensely earthy, but she forced her face to remain neutral. Barbara Jean, she began, her tone carefully measured. I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle. But seriously, there has to be some sort of... She trailed off, noticing the absolute lack of attention she was receiving from the other side of the room. She turned her head, her annoyance flaring. Will you stop staring at her? Van blinked, snapping out of a trance. What? We have been staring at her for, the past 2 hours. Cheyenne nodded, her expression a mix of envy and genuine admiration. Well, she is pretty. Barbara Jean beamed, soaking in the praise like a flower turning toward the sun. I am pretty. Cheyenne, entirely sincere, continued her assessment. Well, of course you are. You have always been pretty, but she is new pretty. Reba let out a short, sharp laugh, shaking her head. Oh, Van, that is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife. Barbara Jean, however, was thriving on the attention. She turned to the young man, her eyes sparkling. Van, you really think that I am new pretty? Van gave a firm, approving nod, offering what he considered the highest possible compliment in his repertoire. Oh yeah, you are like a bleached-out Halle Berry. Barbara Jean gasped softly, genuinely touched. Thank you. You are welcome, Van replied, pleased with his own eloquence. I am going to go make some calls. He turned and ambled out of the kitchen, completely oblivious to the complex emotional currents swirling behind him. The room fell into a brief, slightly awkward silence. A question, hesitant and deeply curious, broke the quiet. So, Barbara Jean. Yeah. Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight, you want to do, you know? The speaker struggled for the right words, eventually settling on a rather descriptive, bouncing hand motion. Bounce, ka-bounce. Van! Cheyenne shouted from the other room, appalled by the direction of the conversation. Barbara Jean, entirely unbothered, offered a sympathetic smile to the younger woman. Oh, Cheyenne, do not be upset. You are still hot. She tilted her head, analyzing Cheyenne's features with her new, highly critical eye. You are like a bleached-out Jan Brady. January Jan Brady. Cheyenne's jaw dropped, her indignation immediate. I am Marcia. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. With the younger generation properly categorized, Barbara Jean turned her attention back to her primary target. She stepped closer to Reba, her eyes shining with evangelical zeal. So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gym and meet Jordan, my trainer. Reba sighed, taking another reluctant sip of her smoothie. She could already feel the exhaustion creeping into her bones. Seriously? Barbara Jean pressed on, her hands clasped together in earnest prayer. He will change your life. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. She paused, her voice taking on a dreamy quality. We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see. Reba paused, the glass halfway to her mouth. She looked at Barbara Jean, her brow furrowed in deep confusion. Whoa, the movies you are going to see? What has that got to do with you getting in shape? Barbara Jean waved a manicured hand, brushing away the logical flaw in her statement. Oh, nothing. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. She clapped her hands together, returning to her main objective. So, you will come meet Jordan? No, Reba answered flatly, offering no room for negotiation. Barbara Jean pouted, a masterful display of disappointment. Oh, come on, Reba. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend. A second later, her eyes widened in realization. She covered her mouth, a small gasp escaping. Boyfriend? Oh, whoops. That came out wrong. Oh. Reba watched her closely, a flicker of suspicion igniting in her chest. She maintained her composure, lifting her glass once more. Well, thanks anyway. But I am just going to be here with my smoothie. She took a gulp, suppressing a shudder. Delicious, just like fruit gravy. The morning dragged into the afternoon, the energy in the house remaining restless and unsettled. The impact of the new Barbara Jean was causing ripples that extended far beyond dietary choices. Later that day, Brock paced the living room, his brow furrowed with a deep, gnawing anxiety. The confident, somewhat arrogant demeanor he usually carried was entirely absent, replaced by the nervous energy of a man who suddenly felt entirely inadequate. He stopped pacing as a familiar figure entered the room. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean, he said, attempting to sound casual, though his voice betrayed a slight tremor. Here you are. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us. Barbara Jean looked up from adjusting her sleek athletic watch. She offered a brief, apologetic smile that did not quite reach her eyes. Oh, honey, I cannot. I am going to the gym. Brock's shoulders slumped. He took a step closer, adopting a pleading tone. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Come on. I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Barbara Jean looked at him as if he had suggested they eat gravel. Really? Skip the gym and eat French food? No can fondue bra. With a bright wave, she turned and marched out the door, leaving behind a faint trail of expensive, sporty perfume. Brock stood in the center of the living room, staring at the empty space where his wife had just been. He ran a hand through his hair, a deep sigh escaping his lips. Man, she blew me off again. All she wants to do is go down to the gym and spend time with Jordan, her trainer. He turned to find an audience, someone to validate his growing fears. Exactly. Frankly, I like the new but the new attitude, not so much. The response he received was dry and entirely unsympathetic. Oh, that is really funny coming from the old but. Brock ignored the insult, his anxiety pushing him to vocalize his darkest suspicions. Jordan is so great. Jordan is so toned and funny. He crossed his arms defensively. Well, I got news for you. Nobody is toned and funny. Rob, you are overreacting. A voice of reason attempted to interject, trying to soothe the ruffled feathers of male ego. Oh, really? Brock snapped, his insecurity reaching a boiling point. Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. The words hung in the air, heavy and toxic. He began to pace again, his mind spinning scenarios of betrayal. Barbara Jean with her trainer? I mean, sure, he is probably a better man than you are. Better looking and younger. He gestured wildly. But that is it. He stopped abruptly, turning to the only person he believed could help him navigate this terrifying new territory. Reba, I need you to help me out. And too loudly might summon the very force of nature they were discussing. She is like a locust. She has eaten everything in the house. The sentiment was met with a chorus of solemn nods. The devastation extended beyond their own four walls. She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house too, another pointed out, gesturing vaguely toward the window that faced the neighbor's property. Look, even the salt and pepper shakers on the counter are completely empty. The reality of the situation began to set in. Action needed to be taken, but the prospect of confronting the source of this culinary apocalypse was daunting. A tentative suggestion floated into the air. Why do you not just tell her she has eaten too much? The immediate response was a rapid, defensive deflection. You tell her. No, you tell her, came the swift counterattack. The tension in the room demanded a resolution, a time-honored method of settling disputes that required no words, only strategy and luck. Rock, paper, scissors. The challenge was issued. Two pairs of hands raised, fists clenched in anticipation. The psychological warfare began instantly. Ben, you know you are going to lose, the confident voice declared, attempting to plant the seeds of doubt. The younger boy stood his ground, his jaw set with determination. Not this time, he replied. The rhythm of the game was chanted, a steady cadence that echoed against the empty cupboards. 1, 2, 3. Hands flashed. The result was instantaneous and painfully familiar. Dang it, Ben exclaimed, dropping his hand in defeat. How do you always beat me? A smug, triumphant smile spread across the victor's face. Because you always pick scissors. Ben crossed his arms, his pride wounded but his logic unwavering. Of course I do, it is my system. With the game concluded, the responsibility fell squarely on the loser's shoulders. The victorious sibling pressed the advantage. So you will tell her? A heavy sigh filled the room, the sound of a reluctant surrender. Yeah, fine, Ben muttered, before his courage immediately evaporated. He shook his head vigorously. No, I do not want to. The burden was swiftly passed again, tossing the responsibility like a hot ember. You tell her, one urged. Come on, you tell her, another chimed in. Please, please, please. The negotiations were growing desperate. No, Ben, why should I tell her? Came the defensive reply, seeking a logical escape route. The reasoning provided was swift and surprisingly analytical. Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks. A brief pause hung in the air, followed by a sudden, incredibly smooth shift in tone, aimed directly at flattering a potential volunteer. By the way, you have been looking hot lately. The flattery landed softly, eliciting a pleased, slightly embarrassed smile. Oh, you. Sensing the softening of defenses, a gentle, maternal voice finally intervened, putting an end to the chaotic avoidance of responsibility. Look, sweetie, why do I not tell her? A collective sigh of immense relief washed over the younger members of the household. Thank you, they breathed in unison, their gratitude profound and sincere. Just as the tension dissipated, the kitchen door swung open with a dramatic flourish. A burst of chaotic energy entered the room, carrying a large, flat cardboard box. Hey, 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 the newcomer announced cheerfully, her voice brimming with uncontainable excitement. Guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to? Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning. The mother, standing near the kitchen island, offered a tired, gentle smile. You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. Her gaze swept over the small gathering. I mean, it is really just the three of us. The older woman waved a hand dismissively, already moving toward the counter to place her prize down. Oh, I know, but I had to take it. It was free. She patted the cardboard box affectionately. Somebody will eat it. Almost instantly, a hand shot up from the group. Oh, dibs. The mother closed her eyes for a brief moment, summoning a deep reservoir of patience. The cycle of endless consumption had to end. She took a deep breath, her tone shifting to one of calm, caring authority. You know what, Mom? I am thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here. The suggestion was met with immediate and genuine confusion. The older woman blinked, looking down at herself. What are you talking about? I am very healthy. Before the conversation could devolve into an argument about dietary habits, a sudden, sharp voice cut through the room from the hallway, directed at an unseen dog. All right, that is it, Mrs. H. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. The frantic commands were followed by a man stepping into the kitchen, his brow furrowed with concern. He looked toward the invisible canine companion, his voice softening into a plea. Monsieur H. I cannot stand to see you do this to yourself. It is like you are trying to eat yourself to death. Why? What happened to you? What is different? As if on cue, the front door burst open, and a voice rang out, bright, loud, and utterly triumphant. You who? I am here, and I am thin. Every head in the kitchen snapped toward the entryway. There stood Barbara Jean, striking a pose that belonged on the cover of a fashion magazine. The transformation was nothing short of miraculous. The soft, rounded edges that had defined her silhouette for years were gone, replaced by a striking, angular slenderness. She wore an outfit that clung to her new frame, radiating a boundless, almost overwhelming confidence. The silence that followed was not one of devastation, but of pure, unadulterated shock. The man standing near the hallway stared, his jaw practically resting on his chest. Someone muttered under their breath, the words sharp and pointed. Yeah, thin is a stick and dumb is one. Another person whispered, their eyes wide. Yikes, what is eating Cooper grape? They stood side by side, taking in the astonishing sight. One observer leaned over to another, offering a brutally honest assessment of the visual before them. Look at that. They look like the number 10. Suddenly, the perspective shifted, a jarring realization that pulled the observer from the grip of a terrifying vision. A gasp of air filled a dark bedroom. Oh, thank God it was just a nightmare. But the relief was fleeting. As the morning light finally broke through and the real day began, the terrifying echo of the nightmare manifested in reality. The front door of the house opened, and the very same voice from the dream pierced the quiet morning air. "You who? I am here, and I am thin." The observer closed their eyes, a deep groan escaping their lips, and the nightmare continues. The house, usually a sanctuary of predictability, was thrown into a state of chaotic adjustment. The atmosphere was thick with unspoken thoughts and shifting dynamics. The radio hummed in the background, a familiar country tune playing softly, its lyrics weaving through the morning routine. "My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I want to be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. With gentle hands and the heart of a fighter, I am a survivor." In the kitchen, the battle lines of a new lifestyle were being drawn. The request came from a sleepy, hopeful voice. "Mom, make us some pancakes." Reba, standing resolutely before the kitchen counter, did not even look up from her task. She was entirely focused on the roaring machine before her. "No," she stated with absolute finality. "I am making everyone a power smoothie." The blender whirred aggressively, churning a mixture of dark greens and mysterious powders into a thick, intimidating sludge. She poured the concoction into a tall glass, her expression determined. "And this afternoon, I am taking a power walk." Van, leaning against the doorframe with a casual, easygoing posture, could not resist the opportunity for a joke. "Power walk?" he repeated, a smirk playing on his lips. "Oh, forget your power cane." Cheyenne, always quick to defend, shot him a glaring look. "Van, that is not nice. Mom does aerobics." Van shrugged, his smile entirely innocent. Crisis was averted. The marriage was safe. He patted Van on the back as they both turned to leave the room, letting the women resolve their strange, complicated dynamic. Reba finally managed to pry herself loose from Barbara Jean's grip. She smoothed down her shirt, desperate for an escape route. "Hey, where are you going?" Barbara Jean asked, her eyes shining with pure adoration. "Just going to go grab something to eat," Reba muttered, backing away toward the kitchen. "I will see you next year." She practically ran from the room, needing to process the emotional whiplash of the past 10 minutes. Upstairs, the atmosphere was entirely different. The chaotic energy of the living room was replaced by a quiet, intimate tension in Cheyenne and Van's bedroom. Ben walked down the hallway, peering into the open door of their room. Van was sitting on the edge of the bed, staring blankly at the television screen. "Hey, buddy," Ben called softly, stepping into the room. "What are we watching?" Van did not look away from the screen. His expression was troubled, his mind clearly somewhere else entirely. "No, we are not," Van replied cryptically. Ben frowned, confused by the non-answer. He recognized that Van was in a strange mood. "Want a rock, paper, scissor for it?" Ben offered, trying to use their familiar game to break the ice. "Let us go." Van slowly turned his head to look at his brother-in-law. His gaze was flat and utterly humorless. "You are going to pick scissors, are not you?" he asked, his voice devoid of its usual playful energy. Ben hesitated, his hand frozen halfway in the air. The joy of the game was completely gone. He realized that this was not the time for childish distractions. "Get out," Van ordered suddenly, pointing toward the door. Ben jumped, startled by the sudden command, and quickly retreated down the hallway, leaving Van to his solitary brooding. Van slumped back onto the bed, staring at the ceiling. The events of the day had profoundly unsettled him. He kept replaying his careless words to Reba, his blunt assessment of men as animals, and Cheyenne's angry departure from the kitchen. He felt a deep sense of failure, a fear that he was not living up to his own ideals of being a mature, stable husband. The door clicked open softly. Cheyenne stood in the doorway, hesitating slightly before stepping inside. Hey, honey, she said quietly, her voice tentative. Van sat up immediately, his entire demeanor changing. The gloom lifted instantly at the sight of her. Hey, baby, he replied, patting the space on the bed beside him. I need to talk to you. Cheyenne walked over, but instead of sitting down, she remained standing, shifting her weight nervously. Oh, honey, I just got the television, she mumbled, gesturing vaguely toward the screen, clearly looking for an excuse to avoid a serious conversation. Van reached out, gently taking her hand. Well, I started thinking, he began, his voice earnest and full of vulnerability, that maybe you do not think of me as new pretty because I do not do enough to keep your interest. He looked down at their joined hands, struggling to articulate his thoughts. It was a complete role reversal. Usually, Cheyenne was the one seeking validation, while Van provided the steady, oblivious confidence. Now he was laying his insecurities bare. No, honey, you are way hot, Cheyenne replied immediately, squeezing his hand reassuringly. Her anger from earlier had completely evaporated, replaced by genuine concern for his feelings. Van smiled softly, appreciating the compliment, but he knew there was more to say. Guilty, he agreed playfully, before his tone turned serious again. But anyway, I thought that maybe I should, change my look every now and then just to keep things fresh. So, he let go of her hand and reached behind him, pulling a brightly colored cardboard box from under his pillow. He held it out to her, his expression a mix of hope and intense embarrassment. I bought a wig, Van confessed softly. Cheyenne stared at the box, her eyes widening in complete shock. She looked from the box to Van's earnest face, utterly speechless. For a moment, the silence in the room was absolute. Then, a slow, gentle understanding washed over her. She realized the depth of his anxiety, his desperate attempt to ensure that he remained attractive to her in a world where everyone else seemed to be constantly striving for physical perfection. She reached out, gently pushing the box back down onto the bed. Cheyenne, put that down, Van said softly, misinterpreting her action. Listen to me, Cheyenne said, stepping closer and cupping his face in her hands, her eyes locked onto his, conveying a depth of emotion that completely transcended physical appearance. I think it is a good thing that when I look at you, I do not see the beautiful girl with the killer body, she began, her voice steady and clear, addressing his fears directly. Van frowned slightly, confused by her choice of words. I see my wife, she continued softly, her thumb gently tracing the line of his jaw. Van's expression softened entirely. He understood what she meant. She was talking about her own insecurities, her fear of being compared to the new, incredibly fit Barbara Jean. And I am attracted to her, Van said slowly, his voice deep with conviction, finishing her thought. Whether she is all dressed up, ready to go out, or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas. He reached up, covering her hands with his own. He wanted her to understand that his love for her was completely unconditional, entirely divorced from the superficial standards of physical perfection that were currently tearing the rest of the family apart. Cheyenne looked at him, tears welling up in her eyes. Really? She whispered, her voice filled with hope and a profound sense of relief. Yeah, Van affirmed, nodding slowly. You are beautiful to me because of who you are. A single tear escaped Cheyenne's eye and rolled down her cheek. She smiled, feeling a weight lift off her shoulders. The crushing pressure to compete, to be new pretty, completely vanished in the warmth of his absolute acceptance. Ah, Cheyenne murmured, resting her forehead against his. I feel kind of stupid. Van chuckled softly, wrapping his arms around her waist and pulling her close. That is also who you are, and I love it. He kissed her gently, a slow, tender confirmation of his words. It was a moment of perfect clarity amidst the chaos of the day. They had navigated through the storm of insecurity and emerged stronger, their bond reaffirmed by honesty and unconditional love. Van stood up slowly, keeping his arms securely wrapped around her waist. He looked toward the door, a mischievous glint returning to his eyes. "Come on, you," he said playfully, gently steering her toward the hallway. Cheyenne looked at him, surprised by the sudden change in direction. "Where are we going?" she asked, a laugh bubbling up in her chest. "Oh, we are going upstairs," Van announced grandly, pointing toward the ceiling, referring to the attic or perhaps simply exaggerating their journey down the hall. Cheyenne stopped, pulling back slightly, a playful smirk on her lips. "Hold on. I thought you did not want me to leave you alone." Van pulled her close again, burying his face in her neck, making her giggle. He looked up at her, his eyes shining with pure adoration and a hint of playful desire. "Sometimes," Van whispered softly, a wide smile spreading across his face, "I want to feel new pretty." The morning sun stretched its golden fingers through the kitchen windows, illuminating a scene of absolute and utter devastation. It was not a destruction of property, but rather a catastrophic vanishing of sustenance. The pantry doors stood wide open, exposing bare shelves that only yesterday had groaned under the weight of boxed cereals, canned soups, and woven baskets overflowing with fresh fruit. The refrigerator hummed a lonely tune, its vast interior echoing with emptiness save for a single, forgotten jar of mustard sitting forlornly on the top shelf. A heavy, stunned silence hung over the family members gathered in the center of the room. They stood in a loose circle, their eyes wide with a mixture of profound awe and mounting panic. Someone finally found the breath to shatter the quiet. The voice was hushed, carrying the weight of sheer disbelief. "That woman is out of control," the voice murmured, as if speaking, confusion clouding her features. "Do not you hi honey me?" she said, quoting a line from one of her favorite movies, trying to lighten the mood. "What are you talking about?" Brock stood up slowly, anger finally breaking through his despair. He glared at her, his voice trembling with emotion. "Oh man, did you honestly think that I would not find out about you and Jordan?" Barbara Jean's jaw dropped, the color completely drained from her face. She looked utterly stunned, like she had just been slapped across the face. "What? We were working out," she stammered, taking a step backward. "It was perfectly innocent." Brock turned to Reba, seeking validation. "Reba, tell him what you saw," he demanded, his voice echoing in the quiet room. Reba crossed her arms, suddenly feeling incredibly guilty for her role in this confrontation. She hated being placed in the middle of their marriage. "I do not want to get involved," she muttered, looking away. Barbara Jean turned to Reba, her eyes filled with hurt and betrayal. "She said you are having an affair," she stated, addressing Reba directly, her voice cracking slightly. Reba sighed, realizing she could not hide from her own actions. "Any more than I already am," she muttered, accepting her reluctant role as the messenger of bad news. Barbara Jean stood tall, gathering her dignity. She looked straight at Brock, her voice steady and clear. "Okay, Jordan and I are not having an affair." She paused, letting the silence stretch for a dramatic second before delivering the absolute, undeniable truth. "He is gay." The words hung in the air, completely shattering the narrative Brock and Reba had constructed in their minds. Brock blinked, totally unable to process the new information. "What?" he asked, his voice weak. Barbara Jean turned to Reba, her expression shifting from hurt to profound indignation. "Reba, do you honestly think I would let a straight man grab my breasts?" Reba gasped, her hands flying up to cover her face in sheer embarrassment. "Excuse me, he grabbed your breasts." Barbara Jean waved her hand dismissively, irritated by Reba's focus on the wrong detail. "He is gay. He was not touching them." He was arranging them. She stated this with the casual confidence of someone completely comfortable with their body and their trainer's methods. Carry on with your lives. She turned and began to walk toward the stairs, fully intending to leave them to stew in their own ridiculous paranoia.
No, Reba.
Everything is not fine, Barbara Jean said loudly over her shoulder, stopping halfway up the staircase. She turned back around, her eyes blazing with sudden anger. I had no idea you were so threatened by the new me. Reba's head snapped up. The accusation stung because she knew, deep down, there was a kernel of truth to it. The slim waist, the toned legs, the phallus, Barbara Jean listed, ticking off her new attributes on her fingers. Reba frowned, thoroughly confused by the last item on the list. The phallus? She asked. The girls, Barbara Jean corrected herself quickly, momentarily losing her train of thought. Oh, the puppies. Reba stood her ground, refusing to be bullied. I am not threatened by you, she stated firmly, though her voice lacked its usual conviction. Really? Barbara Jean challenged, walking slowly back down the stairs, closing the distance between them. Yeah, Reba insisted, crossing her arms defensively. Barbara Jean stopped a few feet away, her gaze piercing. Then why did you go down to the gym? What were you spying on me? Reba opened her mouth to deny it, but the lie felt heavy on her tongue. She looked at Brock, who was staring intently at the floor, completely refusing to meet her eye or offer any support. He had thrown her under the bus to save himself.
No, revalid purli.
She paused, took a deep breath, and decided to embrace the truth, however ugly it was. Okay. Yes. I went down to the gym because I thought there was something going on between you and Jordan. Barbara Jean looked genuinely baffled by the admission. Why would you think that? She asked softly, the anger fading into simple confusion. Reba looked at her, feeling a complex mix of guilt, insecurity, and sheer exhaustion. Because you have changed, Reba admitted quietly. I have not, Barbara Jean protested immediately, shaking her head. Reba stepped forward, dropping her defensive posture. She needed Barbara Jean to understand the impact of her transformation on everyone else. Yes, you have. Ever since you lost all that weight, you are pushy and obnoxious, and you always want to be the center of attention. It was a harsh assessment, delivered out of frustration. The room fell entirely silent. Van, who had been quietly standing in the doorway listening to the entire argument, slowly raised his hand. Hello? He interjected gently. I have always been that way. He pointed to Barbara Jean, confirming Reba's description but applying it to Barbara Jean's entire historical personality, not just her recent behavior. Brock finally looked up from the floor, nodding slowly in agreement with Van's assessment. She kinda got a point there, he mumbled quietly. Reba ignored the commentary, maintaining eye contact with Barbara Jean. Yeah, well, something has changed, Barbara Jean, she insisted, her voice softening slightly. Barbara Jean looked at Reba, then at Brock, and finally down at her own hands. A look of quiet realization dawned on her face. Yeah, the way you guys look at me. She looked up, her eyes bright with unshed tears. I am still the same Barbara Jean I always was. I am just less winded. The simple truth of her statement struck Reba like a physical blow. Barbara Jean had not changed. The way everyone else reacted to her had changed. They were projecting their own insecurities and fears onto her new physical form. Brock walked over to Barbara Jean, gently placing a hand on her shoulder. I know she might be right. Could be us. He looked at Reba, acknowledging his own role in the mess. I am sorry, honey. Reba just got me all worked up. Reba shot him a furious glare. Once again, he was shifting the blame to avoid taking full responsibility. That is... She started to argue, but then she stopped. She looked at Barbara Jean, seeing the genuine hurt in her eyes, and realized that defending herself was not as important as fixing the emotional damage that had been done. "Look, Barbara Jean," Reba began slowly, choosing her words with absolute care. She walked over, standing directly in front of her. "The truth is, I think I went down to the gym almost hoping that I would find you doing something wrong." Barbara Jean looked at her, entirely shocked by the raw, brutal honesty of the confession. "You know, anything," Reba continued, her voice trembling slightly, "so I could feel superior to you and your skinny butt." It was the hardest thing Reba had ever admitted out loud. She had let her own jealousy and insecurity turn her against someone she cared about. She looked down at the floor, unable to meet Barbara Jean's eyes. "So," Reba whispered, her voice thick with emotion, "I am sorry." Silence stretched across the living room. Reba braced herself for anger, for rejection, for the collapse of their fragile, complicated friendship. Instead, she heard a soft gasp. She looked up and saw Barbara Jean's face completely transformed. The hurt was gone, replaced by an expression of pure, unadulterated joy. A massive, radiant smile spread across her face. "Sorry," Barbara Jean repeated, her voice rising in pitch with excitement. "Yeah," Reba confirmed, confused by her reaction. "This is great." Barbara Jean practically squealed, clapping her hands together. "For the first time since we have known each other, you want to be me." Reba's eyes widened in horror. She had admitted to jealousy, not a desire for identity theft. "I do not want to be you," Reba corrected her quickly, panic rising in her chest. But Barbara Jean was completely lost in her own ecstatic interpretation of events. "I know," she shouted, completely ignoring Reba's denial. "It is even better. You want to look like me." She threw her arms around Reba, pulling her into a tight, incredibly strong hug. Reba stood rigidly, her arms pinned to her sides, enduring the embrace with a look of profound resignation on her face. Brock watched them, a huge smile of relief washing over his face. The cry be some sort of... Reba paused, noticing Van staring openly at the new arrival. "Will you stop staring at her?" Van blinked, snapping out of his trance. "What? We have been staring at her for, like, the past 2 hours." Cheyenne crossed her arms, a hint of insecurity creeping into her voice. "Well, she is pretty." Barbara Jean touched her face, feigning modesty but clearly delighted. "I am pretty." "Well, of course you are," Reba said smoothly. "You have always been pretty, but she is new pretty." "Oh, Van, that is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife," Reba warned, noticing the way Cheyenne's posture was stiffening. Barbara Jean leaned forward, captivated by the attention. "Van, you really think that I am new pretty?" "Oh, yeah." Van nodded earnestly, completely oblivious to his wife's rising temper. "You are like a bleached-out Halle Berry." Barbara Jean gasped in pure delight. "Thank you." "You are welcome," Van smiled cheerfully. "I am going to go make some calls," Reba announced, feeling the immediate need to escape the strange new dynamic that had invaded her kitchen. As Reba left the room, Van leaned slightly closer to Barbara Jean. "So, Barbara Jean." "Yeah. Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight, you want to do, you know?
Bounce ka bounce.
Van made a crude but entirely innocent gesture with his hands. "Hum." Cheyenne shouted, her face turning bright red. Van turned to his wife, instantly realizing he had crossed a line, though he was not entirely sure which one. "Oh, Cheyenne, do not be upset. You are still hot. You are like a bleached-out Jan Brady. January Jan Brady." Cheyenne stood up, furious. "I am Marcia."
Marcha, marcha, marcha.
She stormed out of the kitchen, leaving Van thoroughly confused. Barbara Jean watched the drama unfold with a mild, detached amusement before turning her attention back to Reba, who had re-entered the kitchen to retrieve her coffee. So, Reba, I got an idea, Barbara Jean beamed. You should come down to the gym and meet Jordan, my trainer. Reba took a slow sip of her coffee.
No.
Seriously, he will change your life, Barbara Jean insisted, leaning against the counter. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see. Reba nearly choked on her coffee. Whoa, the movies you are going to see? What has that got to do with you getting in shape? Oh, nothing, Barbara Jean giggled softly. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you will come meet Jordan. No, Reba repeated, setting her mug down. Oh, come on, Reba. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend. Barbara Jean's eyes widened in panic as soon as the word left her lips. Boyfriend? Oh, whoops. That came out wrong. Oh. Reba raised an eyebrow, noting the slip of the tongue. Well, thanks anyway. But I am just going to be here with my smoothie. Delicious. Just like fruit gravy. Later that afternoon, Brock wandered into the kitchen, looking thoroughly defeated. His shoulders were slumped, and the usual spark in his eyes had been replaced by a deep, looming shadow of paranoia. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean, Brock said, practicing his most casual voice as he spotted her by the refrigerator. Here you are. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us. Barbara Jean closed the refrigerator door, holding a bottle of mineral water. Oh, honey, I cannot. I am going to the gym. Brock's smile faltered. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Come on. I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Really? Skip the gym and eat French food? No confondu, bras. She gave him a quick peck on the cheek and bounced out the door, leaving the faint scent of expensive citrus perfume in her wake. Brock slumped into a kitchen chair just as Reba walked in carrying a basket of laundry. Man, she blew me off again, Brock complained to Reba. All she wants to do is go down to the gym and spend time with Jordan, her trainer. Reba began folding towels. Exactly. Frankly, I like the new but the new attitude not so much. Brock scowled. Oh, that is really funny coming from the old butt. Reba shot him a lethal glare. Jordan is so great, Brock mimicked in a high-pitched, mocking voice. Jordan is so toned and funny. Well, I got news for you. Nobody is toned and funny. Brock, you are overreacting, Reba reasoned, snapping a towel crisply in the air. Oh, really? Brock stood up, pacing the floor. Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. Reba stopped folding. Barbara Jean with her trainer? I mean, sure, he is probably a better man than you are, better looking and younger. But that is it, Brock interrupted, stepping closer to Reba with a look of pure desperation. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the gym and see if there is anything going on. You know, spy on him for me. No way, Reba flatly refused. You know, Barbara Jean may have a long list of faults, and I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful. Yeah, right, Brock scoffed. Up until now. But now that she is thin and hot, she has all kinds of options. Reba sighed, seeing the genuine pain in her former husband's eyes. Look, Brock, if it is worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then. Brock threw his hands in the air. Oh, now there is a great idea. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. Your solutions are ridiculous. Reba makes me to spy on those. Stupid. He muttered angrily as he marched out of the room. Reba looked at her half-finished smoothie on the counter. Hard to believe they are supposed to be good for you. Out in the living room, Van was sitting on the floor, stretching his legs. Brock stomped past him, muttering dark thoughts. "Hey, Mrs. H, you off for your power walk?" Van called out to Reba as she walked by. Before she could answer, he mumbled to himself, "Man, I love old people. Power walking. Moving along, swinging their arms. Like there is a big sale for false teeth." Reba paused, looking down at her son-in-law. "No, I am not going for my power walk. This whole physical thing is getting everybody acting wacko." "What do you mean?" Van asked, genuinely curious. "Well, your dad thinks that the guy who gave Barbara Jean her new body is wanting to take a forespin." Van nodded slowly, processing the information. "He probably does." Reba frowned. "What are you talking about?" "Guys are pigs," Van stated with absolute certainty. "They are dogs. They are all animals. They just care about hot women. They are hot dogs. My point is that when you got a hot lady, you got to keep your guard up at all times." "I used to," Reba said quietly, a brief flash of melancholy crossing her features as she thought about her past with Brock. Van quickly realized his mistake. "You used to? No, baby, do not take it like that. It is just that I have grown into a mature, stable individual. That is all." Cheyenne walked into the room at that exact moment, carrying a shopping bag. "Well, I do not like it," Van suddenly shouted, trying to sound tough and protective to impress his wife. Cheyenne jumped slightly. Where have you been?" "I went to get something to eat," Van replied sheepishly. Later that evening, Reba found Ben sitting on the back porch, throwing a tennis ball against the wall. The rhythmic thud was oddly soothing. "So, Ben, you think that Brock might be right about this trainer?" Reba asked, sitting beside her son. Ben caught the ball and held it. "Sure, this guy could be hot for Barbara Jean, but since Barbara Jean is not looking to play, there is no problem, and it is obvious Barbara Jean is not looking." "Why is this obvious?" Ben looked at his mother with the profound wisdom only a young boy could possess. "2 reasons. Barbara Jean is not good at keeping secrets, and she thinks of you as her best friend. If she were fooling around with this guy, she would be constantly talking about him to you." Pantry doors stood slightly ajar, revealing shelves that had been systematically cleared of crackers, cookies, and anything remotely edible. "She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house, too?" another chimed in, pointing a trembling finger toward the center of the table. "Look, even the salt and pepper shakers are empty." It was a bleak landscape of depleted condiments and bare shelves. The family dynamic required immediate action. A brave soul to step forward and address the culinary devastation. "Why